Alice is finished.
Yeah, come back and I can put them in the. We're live tonight. So, Dave, this is a different kind of stream. So it's your stream tonight instead of mine.
Well, we're going to do an absolute toy fair, different special, that sort of stuff for the NEC Toy Fair, which is this Sunday. And to be perfectly honest, Baz, the only person I can actually introduce the show and tell us all about it is technically the first special guest and intro. If you guys got any shout outs in the chat, give us a shout out, that sort of stuff. You know, Baz, if you want to put him on screen, I'll let him introduce his own self to us.
Well, here you go.
Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Evening, everybody. My name's Ellis. I'm Ellis Potter from BP Fairs. We organise the NEC Toy Collectors Fair. We've got it on this Sunday, 20th of March, and it's just great to be back. It's Britain's biggest toy collectors fair. There's 500 stalls there with thousands and thousands of collectibles for sale. All kinds of toys, models, collectibles, whatever you collect, there's something there. The show's been going for years now. We run it 4 times a year, and it's just really exciting. The quality, the range of items on the stores is constantly changing, and it's now much more skewed towards your sort of cult TV collectibles, film and comic related bits and pieces, whether it's action figures, comics, all kinds of Marvel superheroes goodies, your Funko Pops galore. So yeah, the theme, as I say, of what's on the tables is always changing, and at the moment those kind of things are really hot. You've still got things like your corky toys, your dinky toys, diecast models from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. But the really hot collectibles right now are obviously things like your Star Wars, He-Man, those kind of collectibles from my era, really. I mean, when I was a kid, I had I remember watching Star Wars when it first came out in '77 in a cinema in Corby, and then my dad bought me all the figures, and of course I never kept them in the box. Nobody did. We all ripped them apart, and now they're all worth mega money. But no matter what you collect, it's all there at the NEC. And now the good thing about it is, with the COVID situation, everything's getting a lot more easier. At the previous show, you had to show a sort of COVID passport, and masks were the norm. But now all those regulations have gone, and it's pretty much back to normal, not like it was in 2019. Really, you don't need to show any proof of COVID status, as they call it. You can just pay on the door, come in, wander around. You can wear a mask if you want to do. If you don't want to do, that's perfectly fine. It's just like it is these days everywhere else you go, like in shops. It's completely up to the individual whether they want to wear a mask or not. To be honest, most don't, but if you do, well, hey, that's fine. It's your choice. So yeah, it feels like we're getting back to where we should be, and it's just a great show. You wander around, you never know what's going to be there, and that's half the fun. That's half the fun of visiting a toy fair. You go through the door, you wake up that morning, you get in, and you just haven't got a clue what's going to be on the tables. Nobody knows, because that's the beauty of it. It's the thrill of the chase. We've all got things that we think, I wouldn't mind finding one of those, and you never know, is it going to be there? You're going to find one. Is it going to be a bargain? Are you going to pay top dollar for it? And that's half the fun of collecting, really. That's what keeps us all doing what we do. It's the thrill of the chase, isn't it? You know, you look for something for ages, you find it, and the next thing you're on to the next one. You know, it's the never-ending hunt to add to your collection.
Do you collect anything, Gary, or any family collect anything?
I used to have quite a nice collection of vintage film posters, and some really, really great ones. Attack of the 50-Foot Woman, 40-Foot Woman, I think it is, Forbidden Planet, Alfie, really a whole load of. I had my garage home all lined with carry-ons, a whole load of carry-on posters. So I was quite big into film posters for a time. And we moved home and I had to sort of sell the collection to sort of fund the new house. But, yeah, but it's just nice to see what's out there. I see a lot of stuff now when I walk around the fairs and you see things that I had as a kid, you know, and you think, wow, yeah, God, I remember that. I've probably not seen it for 40 years. And it just sort of, that nostalgia thing kicks in. You think, wow, it's amazing. It takes you back to your childhood. Because we're all big kids, really, aren't we? You know, grown men collecting toys. It's you know, it gives us a kick. What the hell, you know? You know, you wanna do what you enjoy, and we like a bit of nostalgia.
So, what time can the public get in? What prices and what time's the show on and from and to, if anyone's coming?
Yeah, well, it's this Sunday. It's a one-day show, so you've got to be there this Sunday. It basically. If you're really keen, you can get what we call an early bird entry, which you get in there when the dealers get in there. So it's more money. It's £15 for an adult and £5 for a child. It's for the really keen guys. They like to get the sort of first dip at the bargains, as it were. And that's from 8 a.m. But for guys that are more leisurely, 10:30 is the official opening. So you get there for 10:30. It's usually quite a big queue. If you got there for about 11, there's probably no queue and you can get straight in. But it officially opens at 10:30. I mean, it's on till 3. And admission is just £9 for adults, £8.50 for seniors, and £2 for children. But the big thing, it sounds like a lot of money, but to be honest with you, the big thing at the NEC Toy Fair is parking's free. Now, normally at the NEC, any event, it's 16 quid to park your car. But with the Toy Fair, it's always free. So whilst it might be £9 to get in, you're saving 16 by not having to pay to park your car. So it swings and roundabouts.
But to be perfectly honest, Alice, the week after, there's a MegaCon exactly the same NEC. But they're charging like £20 a ticket for a single day or whatever, and then the £16 per car on top.
Yeah,
so like £36 just to get in for 2 days. There's more newer stuff and cosplay there. Like yours is old vintage. I can still remember going 30 years ago to the fairs.
Yeah.
Even at the pavilion, when it used to be there, it's now knocked down. Like getting McDonald's toys, phone cards.
That's it.
All sorts of stuff, wasn't it? It's crazy.
Exactly. It's always evolving, as I say. Like you say, there's always something new coming on. And the good thing about the fairs is because they're not specific. Whatever you want to collect, you can sell it, you can try and buy it. It's all there, and it's changing all the time. There used to be a lot of stores with things like sort of lead figures on and the really early tin plate toys, and that's becoming sort of less and less now as the sort of newer generation, your Generation X collectors are coming on board. Guys in their 30s, 40s, thinking, you know what, you know what I mean? I've got a bit of disposable income. You know what I mean? I'd like to build a bit of a collection, a spare room, get a few bits that I'm into, and it's great. It's really great.
Yeah. How else can we actually find you? What other shows do you actually do throughout the year?
We do shows up and down the country, from as far north as Bolton at Bolton Stadium, down as far south as Sandown Park in Surrey. So Sandown Park's a really great show because we get a lot of, we used to get an awful lot of European guys coming over. Obviously with the COVID thing in the world at the moment, there's slightly less of those, but it's still a great range of collectibles. If you're after your really early rare toys, then Sandown's more appealing for you, because there's a lot of people with really rare vintage toys from maybe the 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s, whereas NEC is a lot more. There's a lot more toys, collectibles from the sort of 70s, 80s, 90s, look to the present day, the latest releases of Walking Dead action figures or whatever.
Yeah, I know there's your leaflets every single show you give out and that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
all the details are always on the back, that sort of thing. Bits and pieces.
We give out thousands of those every year, and it's great. We call it a pocket guide. You can put it in your pocket or your glove box, and it's a handy calendar. But to be honest with you, a lot of people now just look at bpfairs.com online and find out when the next fair is on a website, which is great. As long as people get to us, it doesn't really matter how they find us.
Well, Common Collectibles is coming up in a bit. There's a few other people as well coming up on a bit on the live streams. We got a load of dealers coming on from 9 o'clock, all different stuff. I've got loads of pictures from dealers that can't make it as well coming up. There's, like you say, so technically, Alice, every single show you go to then is completely different then, is it? Or something?
Every show is completely different. Even if you were to have all the stall holders there every time, the same faces every single time, the show would be different because they've all got different stuff to sell. But that never happens. So because some people can't make it for whatever reason, so there's always probably, let's say, 25% of the stall holders there are changing every time. There's probably 75% that are regulars, 25% that come in and out. There might be people selling a few bits from their own collection, collectors that trying to raise a few bob, selling off a few surplus items to pay for more things they want to collect. Or it could be you know, sometimes you get sort of deceased estates and somebody's died and the family's selling off the collection, those kind of situations, all kinds of reasons. But yeah, we get quite a good turnover of new faces at the shows, as well as a lot of regulars that have been doing it for years. People like Metropolis Toys and Johan from Leicester, vintage toy shop there. Been doing the NEC for 10, maybe 20 years.
I know the Leicester Vintage Toys, when I spoke to them the other day, they can't make it.
Exactly.
It's like, I know one of them just came back off holiday. I spoke to Gary in Edinburgh the weekend. It was crazy. You know.
That's it. So as I say, sometimes they can't be there every single time. I think Joe's just come back from holiday, but his friend Jason that he's always with, he's quite big in the action man side of things. He's going to be there, and Chris from Metropolis, he'll be there as well. So there'll be a lot of regular faces there. He's always on that wall on the right as you walk in.
Yeah. I know the wall tables are very hard, bits and pieces. He books in advance. They normally have the same spot as well.
Exactly.
You guys I've known for, I think, 28 to 30 years almost. I've been going to the toy fairs. It's mind-boggling.
Yeah, I know. The wall stalls are like gold, really. Everybody wants a wall stall, but the guys that on the walls don't want to leave. So it's a bit of a waiting list, really, for guys that want a wall table. But to be honest with you, wherever you are, they're all good spots at the NEC. They're always, because of they're very hot on fire regulations and so on, and we have to have big aisle widths. So they've always got plenty of space around them. So all the spots are good spots. I suppose on the wall it's just easy because you've got nobody behind you.
Yes.
I have a question for Alex. So what would you advise if somebody new is starting to sell at a fair?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because we do get a lot of people that are selling for the first time. And one of the most important things I always think is to work out what you want for things before you leave home, because often you get caught on the spot. You might pull a toy out of a box and then somebody says, oh, how much is that? And you might say, oh, 20 quid. And then he was, yeah, I'll have it. And he takes it away. And then you suddenly think to yourself, oh, blimey, I should have said 30, or I paid 25 for it, or whatever. So work out what you want to sell things for before you leave. And crucially, price them. If you can display prices on the items, it makes it a lot easier, because people can just walk past, look at a piece. And some of the people use those yellow Post-it notes. Yeah. They put the price on there and stick it on the toy with a Post-it note. That's great, because someone doesn't have to ask them for the price. They can just see it from 10 feet away, whatever the price is, and make their own mind up rather than asking. They might assume that it's going to be expensive, but it might not be. But if it's not priced, they'll never know. So yeah, make sure everything's priced. At the NEC, you can, if you book a store, you can use a second table. You can bring a table of your own to sort of put behind the one that we supply, so you get like double the depth. That's a useful tip. And if you've got shelving, you can bring shelving and sort of build upwards. Because whilst the tables are 6 foot by sort of 2'6", there's only so much you can get on a flat table. But if you've got shelves, then yeah, you can go up and get more gear on the stall. If you've got an assistant that can help you, that's good, because it's not nice if you're on your own and you've got to go to the toilet and you're leaving the stall full of valuable stuff there, and you've got to leave the table. So if you can take somebody with you, that's a great thing to do. Just little things like having change. Make sure you've got change. If somebody's selling something for a £5 and you haven't got any change, you might lose the deal. You know, so just sort of plan ahead. And people don't need to do anything really to take a table. Just book a stall, turn up, put it on the table, sell. End of the day, you pack up what's left and you go home. It's that simple. It's really that simple. So we get a lot of guys doing it.
Question, because somebody just asked, do you have to pay extra if you bring your own table?
No. If you bring your own table, then you don't need to pay us any extra for that. The tables that we supply are 6 foot by 2'6". It's £60 for a 6 foot table. That gets you the table, a couple of chairs, an admission pass for 2 people to come in and sort of man the table. If you want to hire an extra table for us to go at the back, that's a tenner. But if you want to bring your own from home, that's free. You can bring your own from home for free, and there's no extra cost for that. So that's the most cost-effective way of having a stall. And you get in from 7:30 in the morning. Show runs to 3. What's that, sorry?
Is it 7 o'clock on Sunday? We can get in the dealers.
If we can do it, we will do. I think it should be 7. Yeah, I know there's guys that get in literally at midnight to set the stalls out. We set it all up from like midnight. It's crazy, and it's all done by about 6. And then we have a bit of a mad scramble, have a quick breather, and then I think it is 7 a.m. We'll be opening the doors for the guys. It's a long day for us, but it's always enjoyable. It's always enjoyable.
Just to let you know, people in the chat, we've got another 12 dealers coming up after 9 o'clock. I'm doing a special to everyone who watches the live stream. If anyone watches this live stream, come and say hello to me. I'm giving a little toy away to the person. I'll show that off in a bit. So I've got my sweets on, that sort of stuff. We've got car person coming on, Jurassic Park. We got all sorts of dealers across the board. There's some of them that got exclusives for us as well tonight.
Yeah.
You know, there's something for a bit of everyone for the next couple of hours and that sort of stuff. It's just stay tuned and that sort of stuff. Ask the dealers the question, you know. So, but yeah. How long have you, I know, one quick question, Alex. The show's been going for so long.
Yeah.
Any idea how long the show's been going for? And I know your dad bought it off somebody else.
Exactly. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think it was in the 90s. Sometime in the 90s, it was started by a couple of promoters called John Webb and Dave Jarrett. J and J Webb. They're still doing fairs. Now I think they've got one in Spalding and Lincolnshire, and they do one at Newark on New Year's Day. And they were a partnership, Dave and John, and they started the NEC up years back. I think they had a bit of a disagreement, to be honest with you, went their separate ways. And then Dave was running it himself for a while, and then Dave approached us. Did we want to take it on? And we'd always thought no, to be honest with you, because we always imagined it being a nightmare with sort of red tape and rules and regulations, and obviously it's a fortune to hire the place, but that's just the start of it, really. But anyway, when we got talking about it, they're actually really approachable, straightforward people, and pretty easy to deal with. So we're glad we took it on, and it's gone great guns from the off. And it's one of our most enjoyable shows. It's funny because maybe I'm just getting old, but I'm talking about the things on the tables changing. But I've got 2 girls, one's 13, one's 10, and they're mad keen to come on Sunday because one's obsessed with Marvel and Funko Pops and can't wait to see what's there. The other one's really into Harry Potter and what they just, you know what I mean? They just want to really get in there and see what they can buy. So yeah, it's becoming more multi-generational, the collecting thing. There's a lot
Also,
more.
I find the little kids have got more money than the adults. That sort of stuff. It's just, it's mind-boggling. The little kids have got the more money. The old folks are looking for the childhood, and the new kids are looking for the brand new stuff. It's a full family affair, isn't it?
It is. It's proper multi-generational, because you've got, like me, for example. I remember Star Wars when I was a kid, as I say, 7 years old, saw the first film, and so that's me hooked. And then my kids are now on it. So yeah, it spans all ages. So you know what I mean? There's something there for everyone, really, no matter what you're into. It's all good.
Yeah. Right, then. We're going to get one of the 2 or 3 guests on at the moment. We're going to get Andrew on. He's having a few technical difficulties. I said, listen, try it for a bit, see if it works. Andrew is a special dinosaur collector. You might see him at the NSC and other shows. So if we bring him on first, because I know he's at the shop and he's got a few technical. But Andrew, if you want to introduce yourself and tell us all about yourself, and if you're taking anything to the NSC, go ahead now.
Spot on, yep. So I'm Andrew. I've got a company called Rexys Reviews. So some of you will have seen me at some of the BP toy fairs where the daft ones who have a stall filled ram full of nothing but dinosaurs. But as Ellis was saying before, I think it's a key thing for the toy fairs to be able to have that diversity of stock and different traders. I think long gone are the days of where a toy fair consisted of nothing but die-cast cars and model trains. The amount of stuff that people are collecting these days is getting so wide, and the range is so broad. It's imperative that us traders and us dealers start embracing that and actually expand what's out there to keep the crowds coming in. So yeah, like I say, we specialise in dinosaurs. So we've been doing the fairs for about 5-6 months now. We've actually just opened 2 weeks ago. Opened our very first brick and mortar shop. Yeah. So we're about 2,500 square foot of nothing but dinosaurs.
Where's your shop,
We're based in South Shields. We're in South Shields, up in the northeast of England, just on the coast there. So cracking day out down by an award-winning beach as well, and then you can pop in and see us. We've got a mixture of modern, new dinosaurs and vintage old stuff as well. So you can see behind us, I've got a bit of original 93 Kenner stuff, all still sealed in box. We do box stuff, we do loose. We buy in, we trade, we sell. So if you've got something that's in your collection, bring it in. We'll make you an offer on it as either cash or as store credit as well, and trade up for something else if there's something you're missing.
Where can we actually find you if anyone to get in contact with you? I know you're at the NSC this weekend. How else can we get hold of you?
We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and we've got our own website. Everything's under the name Rexys Reviews. Our website is www.rexysreviews.com. Yep. Like I say, you can find us on all the social media platforms. Drop us a message if there's something specific that you're looking for. I know, obviously, for a lot of collectors that the thrill of the hunt and being able to find those pieces is key, but I also know how frustrating it can be to find some of those grail pieces. Yeah. So I also operate like wanted lists, so to speak. So if there is key pieces that you're looking for, let us know, and it's always handy to have an extra set of eyes out there trying to find those pieces you're desperate for. We currently bring stuff in from all over the world. So we've got suppliers in the States, so we're able to bring in some US exclusives that we wouldn't otherwise get out get in any other shops over here. I've got contacts in Thailand as well who are able to send us promotional items that they've managed to get over there. So we have a lot of unusual stuff that you wouldn't necessarily find in other stores.
Yeah. Any questions for Alice before we bring on a couple more people, or anything else you want to say to ask Alice Potter? Anything? Questions yourself?
Well, I'll tell you what if I could just jump in, what I noticed about your store, and you were mentioning earlier about good tips for taking a store. One great thing about your store is always the fact that you've got some things at every price point. You may have a really rare piece for, let's say, £100, and then you might have a few pieces, pocket money toys at a couple of quid a piece. And you need that variety, because sometimes it's those smaller value items that can really add up. And on another day, you might not do that well on them, but you might sell a whole load of really rare bits. So yeah, having lots of things at different price points, is like you have with your dinosaurs on the Rexys Reviews, is a really good way of selling.
Quick question, Alice. One of our friends has asked, any chance you can do other shows up and down other countries or up and down the country where you haven't done, like Dorset or down Cornwall or Scotland, or anywhere else you're thinking of branching out, or you're just sticking to the
we're always trying to get abreast of latest venues, what's new out there, different places we can go. And we find that at the moment the trend is that people want to go to a big show, they want to go to a big fair. But they're the ones that really have worked for us over the years. It's a bit like the supermarket mentality. If you've got a couple of hundred stores, it's worth traveling to. You know what I mean? So our bigger shows are the ones that have lasted. So really, we're always looking out to see, if there are big venues out there. At the minute, we can't really see any new ones that we want to take on. That may change in the future, but now we're pretty settled with what we've got.
Baz, do you want to bring somebody else on then?
Well, these two guys have already been on before, so
Right, bring them back in.
Hello. Hello.
Good evening, guys.
Hello, how you doing?
Not too bad.
Show's been good so far.
Thank you. Right, do you want to promote yourself, guys, quickly?
Sorry, what was that?
If you want to promote yourself, what you actually sell at the show and bits, if you want any questions for Alice, and carry on.
Okay, on Geek Station, basically, you can tell from the face, definitely a geek.
And you're as big as a station, so yeah, Geek Station.
So I'll be selling primarily a load of Transformers. I've got mostly mint and seal box, reasonably new stuff. There are some deals going on. There's various stuff going back over the years as well. And I've also got some Star Trek stuff. Not an awful lot of Star Trek stuff.
No,
I leave that to him.
No, you're not allowed the Star Trek stuff.
But yeah, there's quite a lot of War for Cybertron stuff going to be on my table. And there will be sort of like 2 selected deluxes for 35 quid and things like that. So yes, do come and have a look.
Basically, he has a lot of robots that disguise themselves as other toys in the hope of trying to sell them. It works. It does.
Yeah, dinosaurs, for instance.
Okay, so as many of you know, I go under the title of Love Your Geek. But at the Toy Fair, I'm actually registered as Dazzling Dreams. The reason for that is that nearly 50% of the profit from my table goes to Dazzling Dreams, which many of you know is a local children's charity I'm very passionate about. I try and split my table down roughly half. So the one half is weird and wonderful Star Trek stuff. I've got it's all merchant, it's all official merchandise. So don't do any of the second party stuff. And I've got badges from around the world. I've got figures, and because I've got a few contacts on the show in America, I'm lucky enough to have a few props and autographs and things that are direct from the source, no third party. So everybody's guaranteed to get them at a much cheaper price than if you go through the other collectors. And then the other half of my table is just random weird and wonderful stuff, so that I can draw people in and then slowly convert them over to buying the Star Trek stuff, which is what I really want.
They will be assimilated.
Yeah, I'm trying to assimilate people. And obviously, because Sven and I are shameless shameless whores when it comes to advertising. We always have flyers for the Star Trek fan club that we run in Birmingham. We have information about both of the charities we represent, because I purely do Dazzling Dreams, but Sven does Dazzling Dreams. He does Age UK. He really, he pushes the boat out a bit further than I do, but, we're all trying to do it. Yeah, it's true.
Thank you very much. We're going to bring one more guest in as well. There's someone else in the background. So, Baz?
Here's one part of the Bugsy boys.
Good evening, all. I feel like my background is severely lacking compared to everybody else.
That's mine, don't worry.
I've moved house, so I'm in the chaos room at the minute. But how's everyone doing? All good?
Oh, good.
Really good. Right, Ben, do you want to introduce yourself, what you sell and bits and pieces? If you guys got any questions for Alice Potter, just ask away. But if you want to introduce yourself, what you and your friends sell,
cool.
do
Thanks.
anything else like that.
Yeah, thanks, David. As you said, I am one half of Bugsys Toy Box, the sort of taller, and I'm going to say better looking half, as he's not here. We sort of do this as a hobby, just sort of buying and selling to sort of fund our own collections. But we don't sort of pigeonhole ourselves into anything specific. So we've probably got a bit of everything. I've just picked out some bits to sort of show you. We got some of these awesome 18-inch Jaegers from Pacific Rim.
Yeah,
which are really cool. I got a load of Turtles stuff that's just come in. Some really cool boxed stuff. So we got a bit of everything. Sort of He-Man, Thundercats, Funko Pops, anything you can think of. We probably got some of it in there somewhere.
Great. So, how can we actually find you, Ben? You're on social medias, that sort of stuff as well?
Yeah, so we're on Facebook under Bugsys Toy Box and Instagram as Bugsys Toy Box. We have got our own YouTube channel. We've been a little bit lax on the video front recently. Wanting to do it with the two of us, and both of us with busy working schedules, it's been hard to get the two of us in the same place to film a video. But we are planning some more, and hopefully I'll be able to get one out after doing the NEC, doing like a pickups video.
Perfect. You guys got any questions for Alice Potter, the owner, or anything like that? Any of the three guys at the bottom? Or four guys?
I think we've done the show sort of quite a few times now, so I think we're pretty versed in what we got and where we got to be.
It's all about you. Yeah, you've been many times. It's you're always it's always an interesting store. There's such a variety on there, and it's all really colourful, eye-catching stuff. So it works well.
Yeah, thank you.
See, the trouble is, again, we've been doing it for years, so we've spoken to Ellis many times. And actually, Ellis, is it your mum who does the door?
That's it. Yeah, Harry.
Absolutely lovely woman. There is an affair that goes by that I don't make at least 5 minutes to go and speak to her. There's a wonderful thing about that toy fair is that it has a really lovely family-ran feel to it. I mean, it's absolutely huge because it's at the NEC, but the moment we walk through the door, we know exactly who we need to see if there's a problem. We know there is going to be a problem, and if there is a blip, it's so easy to get it sorted. That's
the beauty of the fairs, really. I mean, if you put the toys aside, really, there's quite a big social scene behind it. A lot of people are seeing people that know they've seen them time and time again, year after year after year, show after show after show. And it doesn't matter whether you buy much, sell much. At the end of the day, it's a hell of a day out amongst we all feel like friends. And it's always a great atmosphere. There's no, thankfully in the toy game, there's no sharks, there's no people out to con you. Everyone just seems honest, straightforward. It's just a very friendly scene, and it's just really great. Every time we come away, it always feels like a success. It's just a really great little world we've got going on the toy scene, and long may it continue, I say.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because when I first started, Sven didn't do them, and there was a really lovely old couple next to me that do cars and vintage toys, and you've moved them over to another aisle now. They're further forward than I am, but we stay in touch and we talk over Facebook and chat, and there's been a few dealers to the side of me or behind me, and we always end up swapping cards, chatting, and it's, as you said, it's a great way of communicating with other people in the same network and providing information. I've had phone calls from people going, listen, I don't want this Star Trek tut, but I know you might. I've got all this stuff. And it's you know, it's a great resource for chatting with other dealers.
Yeah. We've made so many friends across the years, just sort of meeting people, chatting with like-minded individuals. It's such a welcoming community, and that was a really lovely sort of thing when we first started a few years ago to just sort of be a part of.
It is very much. I mean, the funny thing is, years back when eBay first came on the scene, they first launched in the UK, and they were down at our toy fair in Sandown giving out leaflets, and I think they sponsored carrier bags. They even sponsored the little pocket guide date card when they first launched in the UK. And we were thinking, oh, how's it going to go? This, you know what I mean? Is this the end of toy fairs? Is it all going to go online? And of course, everyone's dealing on the internet, but you can't replace that social interaction. The being able to hold a toy, chat to someone face to face, maybe strike a bargain. It's the whole social side of it, which the internet will never replace. Which means that we're always going to have a future, because we're all collecting whatever we're collecting, no matter what we're doing. And you can do it all solely online, but there's a bit of it's great, but you want that personal touch. You want the social side of it, and that's where the fairs have definitely got they fill a gap.
Well, it's the same as Bugsys Toy Box said. You know, you're always on the hunt.
Yeah.
And whilst the internet is all well and good, and you have the Google alerts and the eBay alerts and all the rest of it, nothing beats going round it. Because let's face it, we all do it. We get somebody to mind the stall, so we do that quick mind man, because there's nothing quite right picking up that item. I bet you there isn't a person watching this chat that cannot pick up something in their house and go, you know what, I was at such and such a fair, I was having a great day, so and so did me a deal, or I remember where I bought this, I've been looking for this for years. It is not the same going, I got this on eBay. No. It's just not the same. And the other thing is, and see, again, because I'm really, really niche, I've had people come up to me going, I didn't know this existed. I'm like, it's because there are only 10 of them. You're not going to find one on eBay when they only made 10. You know, and it's the same with like the movie props and things. People go, oh, how come you don't put that on eBay? And I'm like, because have you seen what eBay charge for selling something like that? And also, the moment you put something online, anybody can argue its authenticity, where if you're stood there, you go, I bought it from this is the paperwork. It gets rid of all that gump. If people can look at you in the eye and talk to you, they know whether you're on the level or not. And then you can show them.
And not only that, you have to pass a parcel later and take the photographs, and you know what I mean. The sale's instant. You could take a bit of cash, and at the end of the day, you go home and it's all done and dusted. It's quick and it's easy and it's simple, and that's half the fun.
Yeah, you haven't got to worry about postage companies who shall not be named wrecking parcels.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell a story. I'm not going to name the guy's name, but we had a show last Sunday at Stafford. You're talking about, people sort of taking tables for the first time. A guy had never had a stall before at Stafford. I think he was selling his collection, and I think it was model railways as it happens. And he sold out by about, I think, midday. No, it was before. I think he'd sold out by 11 a.m. He'd taken 20 grand in like 2 hours on Sunday morning. And that's it. He sold everything on the table to a combination of dealers and collectors in about 2 hours for 20 grand. And that's it. He's out of there by midday. It's remarkable.
I'm specialising in the wrong thing, evidently.
I just thought the same thing.
Quick question, guys. Andrew, you got anything else to say? Because you've got 3 or 4 people in the background. If you want to plug yourself one last time, what else you do for anyone else, where we can find you again. Baz, if you want to make Andrew big so that people know what he's got behind him and that sort of stuff.
It's a wicked display.
Yeah.
Well, this is just a small percentage of sort of some of the vintage stuff that we've got in the shop. I will be bringing some of this with me ready for Sunday, as well as some of the loose So this is all sort of still original sealed 93 stuff. And then some of the 97 bits as well. But yeah, as well as that, we're going to be doing some PNSO, which is it's sort of like a bit more scientifically accurate sort of model. Very uncommon to see in a physical shop in the UK. You do get them online, but I think we're one of the only shops in the actual country to stock them in store. But it's like you guys were saying earlier on that, and I've literally just had this conversation this evening with a customer in the shop. We've lost that human contact. It's all good and well being able to buy your stuff online, and yes, it's very convenient to be able to just type into eBay the exact item that you're looking for. But we've lost that ability to communicate with people and actually hold something in our hands when we walk into a shop and we see it sitting on a shelf.
Perfect, isn't it? So, but no, I think Andy's frozen. I knew he was his bad connection. You still there?
For a lot of people, there's a bit of sort of childhood nostalgia to be able to walk into a shop and find an item that you remember as a kid, and it brings those emotions back that I don't think you get when you buy online. So yeah, it's nice to be able to have that again.
That's a big thing that's happened over the last 2 years. There's quite a lot of chain stores have failed, and I feel it's certainly a time where the smaller independent stores have got more of a chance, and certainly are making much more of a splash on high streets than they have done for 20 years at this point. I would suggest.
But no, thanks Andrew for staying out late for coming on anyway. So definitely see you Sunday, 100%. Good luck the weekend. I say if you want to stop in the background, we have got a few more people in the background ready to come on. So we're going to introduce one other person. So if you want to come back on after, it's up to you. So when a spot comes free. But no, thank you so much for coming on. Good luck on Sunday. I'll definitely be there to see what you got again. But thank you so much. Guys?
That's a great
That's
image to freeze on, isn't it?
Freeze on that. Perfect.
Basically, his internet connection was a bit stuff before we came on, so he's done amazing to last this thing. So there you go.
Touch and go. So yeah.
Right. So the next guy I'll bring in the Nema Studios, because he's been sitting for a while.
Right.
Evening.
Good evening, Nick.
Are you all right?
Yeah.
Good.
Fancy seeing you here, Sven. How are you doing?
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm all right. But yeah, me and Sven next to each other. Yeah. Talking
That's it, mate. You go on and tell us what you do, what you sell. Any questions for Alice Potter? I know you've done them longer than probably me, but there you go.
Yeah, I've been doing the BPs now for about 5 years, something like that. I'm Nick. Hi, I'm the co-owner of Nema Studios. We're as far as I'm aware, I always say this as far as I'm aware because I keep waiting for somebody to correct me. But we are Britain's only independent designer toy studio and manufacturer, as in we actually manufacture product on British soil. So, as far as I'm aware, as I say, I'm always waiting for somebody to correct me. We sell predominantly action figures, vinyl toys, that kind of stuff. All of our stuff has been our own brand since... God, now, well, we kind of phased into our own brand in like 2018, and now we're just purely our stuff. I say this, but I'm bringing a big Star Wars collection to sell with me on Sunday, so you know. But because I happen to have a Star Wars collection to sell, and there's no better place to do it. So yeah, we sell at the moment. We've been making some waves, little tiny waves, but we've been making some waves with Fiendish Feet and the Trapdoor, and
I was about to say you're the guy who's got the trapdoor stuff. It's awesome.
that's us.
Yes.
I don't know about those on Sunday. just
Did
gone.
you?
Yeah.
I've seen his stuff. It is amazing. The quality is brilliant as well.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. We pride ourselves on not making crappy product.
You know, it's funny. It's one of the things about the Potter toy fairs that you'll always find is you can tell who are the geeks and who are the collectors, who are just the pure dealers, because they're the ones who stock the most interesting stuff. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's it. You can't say who's manufacturing the things they love. That's it.
Well, we kind of I had this very weird moment. Like, obviously, I there's lots of stuff on YouTube and whatever. If you want to kind of hear this over again in any great detail, we talked about it with yourselves last time I was on, where it's like we had the light bulb moment in the pandemic of bringing production over here and blah 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 blah. And we've done all that. But about 12 months ago, I had this weird thing, and I've been using the NEC as an example, the NEC Toy Fair as an example, because I had this kind of moment where, like, you can go into the NEC and you can walk around it, and it's literally that thing, like, 9:30 in the morning on Sunday will be on fire with nostalgia. There'll be just nothing but nostalgia everywhere. But my point is that there was the majority of that nostalgia is, especially from my era, which is like 80s onwards, is American. It's G.I. Joe, it's Star Wars, it's Thundercats, and there's nobody loves Thundercats more than me. But you've got Visionaries, you've got Masters of the Universe, but it's all Ninja Turtles, but it's all American. So when we kind of sat down about a year ago, we were like, we need to make some toys out of some British stuff.
Yeah,
we need to get in there and start doing some stuff. And of course, we started with Fiendish Feet, which yogurt pots. How do you turn a yogurt pot into an action figure? Well, it's this big, isn't it? They've been doing great. They've been doing great things for us. They've been doing really amazing things for us. There's 2 new ones that are out tomorrow night. They'll be making their in-person debut on Sunday. There's also one of them is a limited edition in like chocolate colors because it's the Easter Bunny pot that we're doing this time. So we've got that one. We started with Fiendish Feet. We went into the trapdoor. Again, it's weird because it's like it's always the NEC Toy Fair that we actually debut this stuff at, and it was bonkers. Like last year in September, we kind of came out with Fiendish Feet, and we just had the prototypes just in a cabinet. There were people queuing up at the table just to see what was in the cabinet, and they couldn't buy them. There's nothing to buy. It was just 3D prototypes. So listen, we did it the same at Christmas, where we showed people Burke from the trapdoor, and we were like, we're doing Burke from the trapdoor. And people just lost their minds. Absolutely lost their minds. And we're like, oh my God, you're doing the trapdoor. And we were like, yeah. And I'm stood there going, and that's not all we're doing from the trapdoor either. And of course, nobody knew at that point, because I wasn't going to tell anybody. No way I was going to tell anybody. I wasn't going to stand there and go, yeah, and we're doing ROG. And we're doing... Actually, I probably shouldn't say that yet because I haven't sent him. There's new trapdoor in about 2 weeks.
Okay, cool.
But then, of course, we were like, what else are you doing? It's like, grub bags. We're doing grub bags. We're doing... And then people have been asking...
I saw that grub bags figure on your table at staff, and it just made me smile because the nostalgia is such a big part of what all this is about, isn't it? I've not thought about that woman for like 20 years or more. Yep. Saw that figure, and I thought, wow, grub bags. And as you say, it's something that only a British person could really understand and relate to. And it's niche, it's quirky, it's funny, it's just wonderful. Really, really great.
Thank you.
The thing is, well, she really I collect lots of weird things, and luckily I have a script that was signed by her, and it was such a shame when she passed away.
I have a picture of me and her at a meet and greet at Alton Towers in 1990 when I was 8 years old.
Yes.
That's the picture you put up, isn't it?
She was an amazing woman, and I think it's
an incredible woman.
Done that. I was going to come over and see your stall anyway, but now I didn't know you did grot bags, so I'm definitely going to.
Grot bags. Yeah, we do. We've got at the moment this line of like British. This line of like. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. This line of like British stuff that we've got going on is Fiendish Feet, the Trapdoor, Fiendish Feet, the Trapdoor, grot bags. Then in 2 weeks' time, I'm hoping to have some of this to show you on Sunday. In 2 weeks' time, we have Space Raiders.
Bloody hell.
Baz, you want to make him bigger, Tick, so we can see the card up, please?
Yeah.
Space Raiders. I can show you. I haven't got. We're working on her down at the unit at the moment. I haven't got a full one to show you, but I can show you. There you go.
That is very cool.
So that's her 3D sample kind of thing that we work off. But that's the torso. So there's Astra from the Space Raiders. So she's in 2 weeks. She won't be ready for me to show you on the weekend, unfortunately, because we're still knee deep in that. I can. What else have I got that we've got that I might be able to show you? Yeah, we will be able to show you on Sunday Panda Pop, because if you've got Space Raiders, of course you've got Panda Pop.
Wait. Anything else, Nick, you want to show off, or do you want to come to that at the end of the show, what you mentioned the other night?
Oh, no, I can't show you that yet. That's not ready.
Okay, don't worry.
That's not ready.
So that's before. Spoiler, you know.
The other thing I can tell you as well for the Trapdoor folks, because obviously Burke has been.
Yeah.
Burke's, by the way, just as I hate to plug this, we ran the biggest run of anything we've ever done with Burke. There's about 25 of him left. So if you want him and you haven't bought him yet, you're like, oh, I'm going to get one. It's fine. I haven't even got one yet. Seriously, half of the time I don't get one because it's like, well, that's got to go out to a customer. Burke did amazing for us. Rog has done incredible. There's new ones in 2 weeks. There's for anybody that knows your Trapdoor. I don't know anybody that knows your Trapdoor. Bubo is in 2 weeks. The little yellow guy. Yes. And there's something else happening in 2 weeks that ever since we did Burke, loads of people have been going, are you going to do this? Because I really want this. Please tell me at some point you're going to do this. And if you're one of those people out there that's been going, oh, are you going to do this? Yeah, we are. And it's in 2 weeks' time. That's all I'm going to say.
Thank you for that. Right, and quick question for Sven and Thingybob. Do you want to give us a 5-minute plug for what you do again? If you want to go, we're going to put you in the background for a bit because we've got another person coming on completely different stuff what we sell all together. If you want to stay in the background, it's up to you. We've gone to 11 o'clock. We're just going to swap people in and out because we've got another guest in the background ready to come on in a minute.
Well, actually, after we've finished our pitch, whilst we would love to watch the show, we've actually got some work to be cracking on with. Some of it involves stuff we need to get ready for Sunday, and some of it's other projects. So we'll be shooting off after this. But can I just say thank you very much for having us on? Always a pleasure. Sven,
yes,
give them the pitch for your stall again.
Geek Station. We will be selling mostly Transformers because that's my thing. For those of you who don't realise, I actually started auto assembly back in 2000. So the UK.
All those Transformer fans love that stuff.
Yes.
Have you got any of the collectible pins left for that show?
No,
I do. I have pins left from your show.
Rude. So yes, Transformers on my stall and a bit of Star Trek and there's going to be little bits of other things. In fact,
You guys are normally back of the hall, are you? Same spot, back of the hall, like normal.
Like 4 rows in from the back.
Yeah. And don't forget, we also do Geekology, which is our YouTube channel. We've got Space Birmingham, which is our fan club. There's Autobase Birmingham as well. And we raise money for Age UK Birmingham and for Dazzling Dreams.
Okay, my one is mostly Star Trek. We've got props, we've got autographs, we've got weird and wonderful pins from around the world, and all the, you know, like the eagle moths and all the we've got incredibly rare stuff and incredibly generic. It's a wonderful mix. Great thing is you can come along and go, oh, I didn't know that existed. So that's quite fun. And then I've got just bits and pieces from pretty much every other genre to make up the rest of the tour. Actually, I once joked with somebody, the only reason I have non-Star Trek stuff on my store is for those guys who bring their girlfriends so that they have something to look at. The last time I was there was a girl who was just looking at the Trek stuff and literally nudged her boyfriend and went, look at action figures, go look at those. So it's a wonderful mix. But I'll be raising money for Dazzling Dreams. And for anybody who has seen us on YouTube and all the rest of it, I say this to everybody that ever looks at my stall. You don't need to buy anything. I'm happy to chat. As long as I'm not serving a customer, I'm more than happy to chat. I'm happy to tell you about anything that's on there. A lot of the stuff, for anybody who watches our show, they know that I used to be friends with Richard Arnold, who was the personal assistant to Gene Roddenberry on Star Trek, and he was involved with Next Generation. He was involved with DS9, Voyager, a little bit on Enterprise, a little bit with the Calvin unit. He's been there for the whole thing, and due to that, I have loads of weird, wonderful stuff that has fantastic stories. So I'm always happy to tell the stories for those bits and pieces.
We'll go on.
Perfect, guys. I've got a couple of pictures from Sven earlier. So in the collage in a bit with all the stalls that can't make it tonight, I've got a couple of pictures of your stalls ready to come up in a bit soon. We've got like 6 to 8 dealers showing stuff off. They've got some amazing stuff to send me. Some of it's unbelievable. And Ben would just like blow his mind. Nick will be saying, what? You know, just wait. But thanks anyway coming on, and I'll definitely see you Sunday, guys.
Thanks,
Absolutely.
guys. Always a pleasure.
Care.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Right, the toy fair is all about different stuff. You're all about the action figures and bits like Barry Ellis Potter said at the beginning. Now we got something completely different coming on, and I'll let him explain himself what he's all about. Baz?
Right, so I'm going to bring on, is it Common Collectibles?
That's the one.
Hello, you all right?
Good evening, sir.
How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad. If you got any questions, if you want to introduce yourself, what you do, if you got any questions for Ellis Potter, and just ask away. If you want to introduce yourself, what you sell, enjoy yourself, and carry on.
Yeah. So a lot of you probably see me there. I'm Common Collectibles, sell under, and I just sell mainly sort of like loose figures, sort of pop vinyl, Hot Wheels, mainly the ones to do with like films and TV. So they're all different prices as well. Like Ellis was saying, there's like pocket money toys there, and the figures are all sort of about £3 to £2. They're all pretty reasonable. So,
any idea where your stall is or anything? Or
yes, it's usually row C, which is sort of like the third one in. As soon as you go in, and then I'm usually opposite. There's a guy that's got 6 tables and he sells like sort of jigsaws and McDonald's toys. And then across from there is a guy that sells like loads of Doctor Who stuff. I'm usually next to him. So it's usually about there.
Anything you want to show off? Anything you want to show off? Anything you want to bits and pieces?
Yeah, I've got a few random bits. Like I mainly sell the sort of 90s stuff, and then a few sort of retro bits. So I've got like the new Johnny Quest kind of stuff. Got the helicopter from that. got a couple of the new Batmobiles for the new film.
Just coming to see you then.
I've got a whole load of Hasbros as well. I'm going to be bringing with me on Sunday. So a massive box of Hasbros.
And a tasty porg in the background.
Yeah, I've mainly collect sort of Lego, and so the sort of all. I'm not lucky enough to have a man cave. I've got a man shelf, so I've got a couple of shelves that are just full of stuff. So there's quite a lot of Lego on the shelves.
You want to ask any Ellis question, or do you want to ask any questions to Ellis or any of the other guys, or whatever? It's up to you.
No, I'll just say I think the BP fairs are one of the most welcoming fairs that I do. Because when I was obviously like maybe 2017 or 18 when I did my first one, and they were so welcoming that I would say once you've done quite a few shows, sort of get to know everyone, and you sort of realise what's the best thing to do, and obviously it's great that you can take an extra table as well. That's some places don't let you do that, so that's great.
Yeah, we're a family business. Started out in 1979, and we just like to keep it low key, keep it friendly. It's leisure, you know what I mean. Everyone's out for a good time. We don't take ourselves too seriously. It's a bit of fun, and that's how it should always be, really. It's about people coming out and enjoying themselves on a Sunday, meeting up with people that have got like-minded interests, swapping a bit, buying a bit, selling a bit, chatting about what your interest is, and it's not rocket science. It's just a really good day out.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, so it's NEC's one of the best ones. But obviously, I do stuff with that all the time, and then everyone was always saying, "Oh, you got to do the NEC, you got to do the NEC." And so when I eventually did it, I was like, "Oh wow, I don't know why I never did this one before." Like it's just such a good show.
It's definitely our favourite, I think, out of all the ones we do.
Yeah, it's definitely becoming. It's got a real identity now. It used to be quite a bit more varied. Now it's getting much more sort of specific. Like you say, your 90s toys, 80s. There's a lot more exciting, well, cool collectibles, if you like, Generation X gear. You know what I mean? The kind of things that used to be the minority years ago are becoming now the majority, and it's great to see because it's so mainstream that all kinds of people are getting on board, and it's great. It's just I'm always amazed by what's on the tables every time you go. It's just wow, look at this, look at that. It's colourful, it's fun, it's exciting. Yeah, I love it.
Just to correct me if I'm like talking utter rubbish, because I do tend to talk utter rubbish. But like there's a vibe about that show, right? Whereas like you go to like Stafford or Bolton or which they're great shows, etc. Or you go to Comic Cons and wherever. You go to the NEC Toy Fair on that Sunday, and there's a vibe in that building. There's
a buzz in the air.
There is a buzz, isn't there?
Yeah.
It's not...
Yeah, I think the NEC is the National Exhibition Centre. It's a prestigious venue, and you know what I mean. All the leading events in each field are there. It's obviously, as I say, it's a fortune to hire the place. So you've really got to go for it, and everyone kind of takes it that bit more seriously, if you like. You get a bit apprehensive. You think, "All right, I'm coming to the NEC," and it doesn't disappoint. Because everyone's in the same vein. Everyone's thinking, "Oh, right, yeah, it's going to be good if it's at the NEC." So we get people there that we don't get at any other fair. We just tend to see them at the NEC because it's a venue that's got its own stature, if you know what I mean.
People travel sort of quite a long way, as you said before, Ellis. Like you've got a lot of international sort of buyers and stuff that come over. I mean, for us, it's the one that we travel the furthest to get to.
Yeah. People take it seriously. Well, you could say it's a seriously good show because it's big. It's known for being big. There's a lot of stalls there. You're going up and down those roads for what seems like ages, and it's just exciting. It's the thrill of the chase. You can't beat it.
Yeah. It's still one of the best ones. It's also in the Midlands. It's where it's in Midlands. Scotland comes down to it. London comes up to it.
You're right.
Right
Location.
airport. It's just one of the
right in the heart of the country. We get quite a few Irish guys fly in for each show from Ireland, straight there, Birmingham International. And it's got, as you say, it's got an atmosphere all of its own.
Yeah, there's a definite buzz. There's a definite buzz. And I mean, it was quite interesting when we were at Stafford on Sunday. And I was chatting to somebody and I was like, oh yeah, because it's weird because I never count the day after Boxing Day as being last year. I'm always like, oh, it's the first one of kind of, but it's not. It's the last one of last year. And of course, it's a weird changeover. But I always I was chatting to somebody and I was like, oh, we've been to NEC this year, right? Because obviously this one's later than it has been previously. It's usually in February, isn't it? I'm like, we've been to NEC this year, right? And they're like, no. And I'm like, oh, okay. All right. So this is the first one of 2022 on Sunday. Like, yeah. And I'm like, oh. And you don't want to look like a meme, but you kind of like now going, it's like, hello, here we go. Because you're gonna, it's gonna be fun. There's gonna be an atmosphere. There's gonna be a vibe. You're gonna go in and set your stall out, etc. To set the table out and be like, right, okay, bring it on.
Yeah. And we've had such a crap couple of years with COVID. It's really been horrendous. And now I know it's still out there, and there's people that are still catching it and so on. But the last fair we had, the whole Omicron thing was kind of new and all a bit scary, and there were these COVID measures in place, and that's all gone now. So it's going to really feel like, right, we're getting back to normal. Let's get out there, let's enjoy ourselves. And I think it's going to be a busy show, and I think a lot of people are looking forward to it.
It was, I think it was strange as well that Stafford was the last one before a lockdown, and then it was the first one back after everything went back to normal. So that was a weird, that was quite strange. A lot of us did the last show, and everyone was starting to wear gloves and masks and talk about lockdown and stuff. And then it was like 3 years, and then that August one, and the first Stafford and the first NEC were like absolutely crazy when they came back.
They were. I mean, I always remember I was talking to a few people after, because I was down in London at the designer show while a lot of you guys were doing the last Stafford before we all locked down, and that was it for like 2 years, and we didn't know what the hell was going to happen. And I remember talking to a few people because like the designer show at ToyCon London, you go down and it's always mental, but it's mental for different reasons with all your designer toy guys and this because of people coming from Japan and whatever. And like we didn't sell a single thing on the Sunday, and we were gone by 1 o'clock, and it doesn't finish till 5. And literally London was empty. We drove straight out of London because people were terrified of what was going on. I remember getting in the van with my best mate Steve, who come down with me, and he was like, what the hell is this? And I'm like, this is like, people are frightened because we don't know what's happening. And I remember talking to some people who said that they were at the Stafford before everything shut, and they said it was the same there, that people were just going, what's going to happen? So like you say, for us to be back there as the first one back, because it was my first one back as well, was the Stafford one. It was quite something. It was like, oh, okay, let's, and it felt like we were getting back to normal.
It's just good to be pulling out of this and to be getting in control, if you like, of what we're doing. You know what I mean? The government's no longer saying, right, you can't do this, you can only do that. It's up to us now to decide what we want to do. And that's empowering for us. And we were able to make our own decisions. And I think most of us just want to get on and do whatever we want to do. We're still responsible, obviously. We're not just reckless, but it feels like we're getting our lives back.
Yeah.
Ben,
yes,
you're a part of this small little table group.
Oh, the small table group, yeah?
Yes, the small table group. The very, very small table group.
Yes.
Yeah. you want to give a plug to any of the other guys that's coming? I know Aaron's coming on in a bit, and Dan Plastic and a few others might be on, but just in case they don't.
Yeah.
Do you want to give a plug to what else they sell?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for one more guy to come on, but he's having technical problems at the moment.
Okay.
So
is he part of the small table?
Yeah, the small table.
Okay. Yeah, because we've got Andy from Andy's Toys and Models, who's sort of, I guess, similar to us in a way. It's a lot of 80s, 90s sort of pop culture stuff. He's got a lot of Battle Beasts and minifigures. So if anybody's looking for those, definitely hit Andy up. He's got bits of all sorts. The same as Mr. Dan Plastic, who will be on the small table with us. So he's got the same sort of stuff. We've got Rye from Rye's Toys and Stuff, who we've not stalled with before. Well, I mean, I haven't personally. I know the other guys have. So it'll be wicked to sort of spend some time and socialise with Rye. He's a great guy. Everybody's super approachable. So if anybody, it's like the guys were saying earlier, want to come up and just have a chat with us or chat about what we've got on the stall, more than welcome to. And I believe Josh from Into the Verse Toys is also joining us on our small table. He was on the Toy Division stream last night, if anybody caught that.
Yeah. It's also, isn't there the Little Warriors Foundation guy coming up next to you guys as well?
Yeah, Brad will be there with his belt. So if anybody wants to come and take some pictures with WWE belts and stuff, yeah. For Great Ormond Street Hospital, I believe. Excuse me. So yeah, all for charity. Brad's a super, super nice guy as well.
Yeah. So I know Aaron's coming. Aaron's trying to get on in a bit. I'll ask Aaron again in a bit. So bits. Baz, do you want to show them pictures I sent you earlier? Because basically we've got a few people that can't make it tonight, but sent me a load of pictures across of different store holders and that sort of stuff. To what to expect. The one guy, when I get to him, I'll tell him all this is taking his own personal collection, and it's mind-boggling. Do you want to explain your store, Cameron?
Yeah, sure. So usually set it out. So I've got like action figures on one side, all sort of bagged up and priced up, and then sort of cars on the other side. So it's sort of usually about half and half. And obviously shelves at the back, and they've got sort of newer stuff on like pop vinyl, and a few of the bigger bits. And then underneath, it's just loads of boxes of just loads of loose figures. They're usually the ones that are like £2. There's usually like a little 50p box as well. And I've started taking, so I've got loads of them. Just got bags of action figure accessories as well. So there's loads of different ones from everything in there. So it's just a real sort of mix, everything for everyone, really. So
perfect. Next picture, Baz. I can't remember which ones that we shall send. This guy is called Craig Rodwell. He's near the front, and basically he's got a load of like Power Rangers you see all boxed, that sort of stuff. If you see the next picture, it's just like some of them, it just blows my mind what he's bringing. You know, he can't make it. He said he'd love to make it. You've got Jurassic Park collection, He-Man. The bottom one, it's a full carded collection of Pirates of Dark Water carded he's taking.
That's cool.
You know, the next picture is just like a full set of Bucky O'Hares with a Doom buggy. You've got a few other bits like NECA figures and karate bits and pieces, that sort of stuff. And then basically his holy grail is a signed Cobra action figure by, the man himself, Stan Lee, is actually bringing with him as well. It's unbelievable the stuff he's bringing. As far as I know, he said he's trying to get the same spot as last time near the front. But that's some of the stuff he said he's definitely bringing, definitely selling. Some of it's like very tempting,
Most of that's not going to last.
Yeah.
Is it? Let's be honest.
This is next to me, 2 stalls down from me. They sell literally all sorts of Godzillas, action figures, toys, you name it. They've got a bit of everything on, comic books, a bit of everything and anything. You know, it is, I say that it's on the wall, left-hand side, I think 2 stalls up from me. It's a lady called Tracy. She's really good collection as well. That's the guys was on earlier. That's one of their pictures of their stall with Transformers, Star Trek, that sort of stuff. It's an old picture from one of their stalls. It's the same as the next picture as well, I think. Is it, Baz? Yeah. That's what the setup like is. You know, that was on a bit earlier. You know, they've got Transformers, Star Trek, all sorts of stuff. It's unreal what they can do and can't do. It's 2 amazing guys in there. Said 4 files from the top from the cafeteria downwards. Next one, Baz, same picture. And the next one. King Street store is next to me, which is on the left-hand side. He's come to the door halfway up. And a guy called Darren, he sells Transformers. He's got a shop in Wolverhampton. He's got new, old stuff. He's been on Leicester Vintage Toys tour. You know, Darren's a really cool guy. He comes with his dad. He's been doing it for years as well. And, you know, he's got some really different type of stuff. Same again, he's got the cars. Like, there's a guy hopefully coming on in a bit, Roger. He's got a load of big cars. He's having technical still difficulties. You know, I don't know, you know, but there you go. Robbo Toys. Ben, do you know Robbo Toys much?
Oh, yeah, we know Rob really well. Another super nice guy. He's got it's a lot of 80s, a lot of 90s. He's got a lot of high-end stuff. Some really sort of hard to find bits and pieces, but also the lower end of the spectrum. As you can see from that picture, I think that's a big box of Boglins. There's He-Man, Star Trek, Thundercats, Star Wars, like everything.
Yeah. The next picture as well is exactly this. The next 3 pictures are all Robbo Toys, different angles from his shop. He had, I think that was Stafford, that sort of stuff. You know, he's got all sorts on his store, you know. And he's basically left-hand side of the wall, about 3rd or 4th file up. You can't miss him. He is one of the amazing guys to talk to, and I've known him for same as long as Ben, isn't he?
Yeah.
Thank you, Baz. You know, that's some of the people that can't make it. I know for a fact that Roger, he's having a bit of technical, but he specialises in die-cast cars, that sort of stuff, which is always out at the toy fair. You know, old Matchbox sets, that sort of stuff. You know,
I love the way you've just got this stuff there, Dave.
Huh?
I love the way you've just like, he specialises in cars and in Matchbox sets, and it's like, what?
Hot Wheels as well, isn't it?
Chickens, and it's
Is he paying you for promotion?
I was going to say, look the way he's just like got this stuff there. It's just like boom, boom.
Well, officially, I said to anyone, if anyone shows us anything off the taking, you know, like anything, it's just next to me here.
Yeah, it's just randomly next to it. It's just going to be fire.
Yeah. You know, Cardi, G.I. Joe, that sort of stuff.
Just, oh yeah.
I'm waiting for a line that you can't pick out something
Final
from.
King shower. Look at that.
And then basically, if anyone wishes me a birthday on the day that it's our birthday, we'll get a complete free, complete sealed Batman figure, Lego, on me.
So, Dave, you said it's your birthday on Sunday.
You get a free Lego Batman figure on me.
See, that's sort of testament to how good the show is that you want to be there on your birthday.
Yeah. You know, I've got Japanese posters given away to a £5. I've got just a bit bigger table than you guys put together, so that's why I said small table.
I mean, but you are running yours on your just you.
Yeah.
We've got about 5 of us on ours.
Yeah. But it's all about the collectors and helping us out. That's why we do the streams. That's why Ellis puts the show on to meet all the, the fantastic people all around the world. It's, with Common Collectibles, Nema Studios. Without Nema, we wouldn't be seeing this stuff, would we?
It's just, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm still reveling in the fact that, like, you're just able to randomly pull things. It's just like, look at this and this and this.
Well, it's key, because see the last day.
Flammable as well,
If it's it.
I could move this one and pull out the stuff off this if you want me to as well.
It's like curtains.
Yeah, it's like Aladdin cave behind you. Like,
it's weird. You got the old wrestling figures.
What is that? What is that?
Is that one of the Star Toys wrestlers?
That's one of the Star Toys from Spain.
Oh my god!
I know a man who is very into those.
That is the thing of
Mr.
nightmares.
Like the guy said earlier, you've got the English Power Rangers, you've got the Japanese Power Ranger stuff as well.
And the Mexican Power Rangers. That's what that wrestler looked like. He looked like a Mexican Power Ranger.
I have got a big Hot Wheel collection, die-cast, toys, everything coming with me as well. 95% is all brand new. I could reach round and say, if you want one a free, one a sweet at the store, come and get them as well.
After my 4:30 start, I might have to come and get a couple of those off you to keep me going.
It's always a great table when I see it. So
I was always like, that's what something got new picked up today. But you can read it.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm still not decided about is taking my ET board game with me.
Oh, how can you sell it? How can you do it?
It's not complete. That's the problem. It's missing the actual spaceship itself. The board and the box is pretty decent. The figures in there, but the spaceship, the ET lands, is not there at all. That's why I'm like. But the box is pretty decent. I don't know if to bring it with me. If anyone does, just let me know and I'll sort them out. Something for like Andy I showed earlier. Willow figure.
Oh mate, he'll love that.
Willow, yeah.
But no, you got, as you said, Barry Ellie said earlier, you can get die-cast cars, Hot Wheels, Corgis, Matchbox, complete Thundercats.
That's not a Thundercat.
He-Man, so you're going to get crucified in the comments.
I know.
I'm going to crucify you. That's
original G.I. Joes. I've got a few pictures for Masters Universe I'm selling in frames.
That's cool.
Nice.
I'm just wondering what he's going to pull out next. It's amazing. It's not watching the Generation game.
It is, isn't it?
It is what you could.
Listen, guys, I've got to love you and leave you, unfortunately. I've got a thing going, the interview with the BBC in a minute. But can't wait to see you all on Sunday. It's going to be a great show, I know. And thanks for inviting me on. It's good to see you. Looks like you're bringing some exciting gear. And we'll see you all Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alex.
Right, guys, I'll leave you to it. Have a great night. See you soon. Thank you. Thank you.
He's leaving us for the BBC. I mean, that's high.
I was going to say, that was just a name drop.
Yeah, that's
so
high
basically, he said he could do the time of bits and pieces and doing a few other bits. So, it's one of the things. It's the collector show made for all of us, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's every genre can go there. If you have trouble, you can get away for that one day. Some of the best memories I ever had just getting away for the toy fair, just having a look round, chatting to you guys. It's something completely different and unusual.
It's that social aspect, isn't it? Like just chatting with people that you normally may never have come across in your normal life, and just sort of
yeah.
I
think The other thing I would say is I don't want to get too philosophical, because I don't see the need to get philosophical, especially when we're talking about toys and stuff, because toys are supposed to be very much like ground level, it's supposed to be fun. But I think that people talk about the internet and the the bad of the internet bad, and I'm like, well, but it can be. But I think one of the things it has done is and Theo did a great video on this earlier on this week, where he talks about the toxicity in
it was a really good one.
Really good. Some powerful stuff in that, and I would say that if you've not watched it, go and see it. But I think also the one thing it does do, and it kind of like, I found out about this toy fair through the internet. You know, and if I didn't know about this, if I'd have not been on the internet or been in some of those toy groups, I wouldn't have found out about the NEC Toy Fair, and I wouldn't have found out about BP fairs, and I wouldn't have found out about that stuff. And of course, that's brought me into this when I first started out doing what I was doing in very early 2017, which I can't believe is 5 years ago now. It's nuts.
Crazy.
Yeah. And again, it's I think it's a testament where you can, like you say, Dave, you can go, you can forget. You don't have to worry about X, Y, and Z, because you're in a room full of like-minded individuals, and you could just get on, and you can all interact, and you can chat, and you can do whatever. There's no kind of, you get sometimes where there's like bad feeling at Comic-Cons and rivalries at Comic-Cons and stuff like that, but not at toy fairs.
No.
You don't normally get it at toy fairs. At toy fairs, it's usually straight up, and it's like, no, I'm here to spend some money and to enjoy myself, and to look at cool shit. What about some cool shit? You know what I mean? It's kind of like that's what it is. Yeah. And it's it's very cool. And I said I didn't mean to get like philosophical or any of that stuff, but it is very much, you can do that at a fair like this, and it's and I think that's why we all look forward to Sunday as much as we do.
Yeah.
More than you think so. Well, we've got another guest in the background. Hopefully his camera works, or if not, he explain what he does. It's like Ellie said at the beginning. It's just not about the action figures. It's all about the trains, the cars, anything. So we'll see how it goes. Buzz?
I'll just bring him in a minute. It's just that, in a little bit, just remind me, Dave, because I have remembered that action figure I found about a month ago.
Yeah.
Your good friend went and told me what it was.
Yeah, so yeah.
Nick.
Right.
Nick, I want to see if he recognises what this is. And maybe Ben might know what it is as well.
I'm pretty sure I know what this is.
So I'll bring Roger on.
Yeah.
There we go.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, Roger.
Good evening.
Apologies for I'm slightly Neanderthal when it comes to technical stuff. My lovely partner's actually sorted this out for me, so I'm on her phone. But I've been listening for the last 20 minutes. It's been very interesting.
There you are. If you want to give us an introduction, Roger, to what you actually sell, because I know you completely sell different stuff from all of us. But but I'll be selling a bit of your stuff as well. So
I do a little bit of diecast, but predominantly it's what I bring to the NEC and the toy fairs is scale extract and associated slot car paraphernalia. Nice. It's quite a niche thing, and certainly over the last 20 years I've been I've been going to the NEC and various toy fairs. The slot car market has certainly diminished, and it's been certainly the advent of the internet has affected that quite badly. So I'm virtually the last man standing that's doing it on a regular basis. But nevertheless, still get your regulars, and it's still it's as much for me. It's worth going to these places as much to buy as it is to sell, because obviously I do use the internet. I do sell on eBay and through Facebook and various other mediums. But it's a valuable source of raw material for me. So it's an important place for me to go and be seen, and through all the dealers, certainly in the diecast and the train world, if they do house calls and they pick up scale extract like if I do a house called Pick Up Railway or Diecast and various other bits and pieces, I tend to take it to the shows and try and just move it in the trade. I mean, some stuff I haven't got a clue what it is really. And last week I've got a contact through house clearance, and he brought me a box full of Transformers. I had absolutely no idea what they were, but I paid him his money, and I've had to do a bit of research, and I've got a rough idea what they are now. But they'll all be coming with me to the NEC because it's the kind of place where I think I'm more likely to sell it. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Have you found, like, Rod, where when in Scale Electric World, I know they do the James Bond sets, the Turtle vehicle sets from the 80s or the 90s, the Turtle sets. Does that find goes better at the shows, or is it just anything and anything for Scale Electric?
Good question. I mean, we're now into sort of Scale Electric in its infancy was started in the late 50s. A guy called Fred Francis, Mini Models. It's gone through many hands and is now under the Hornby Hobbies Group. What you find, I've said, I mean, I got actively back into it in the early 90s as a collector, and then discovered the toy fairs, the specialist shows, and started to deal because it was my only way of improving my collection. You know, like most of us operating on a relatively small budget. But what I've found is what was hot in the 90s isn't necessarily so nowadays, and it's a lot to do with the age demographic. I'm finding stuff that was, when I started in the 90s, was unsellable. There is now an interest in it, and I think that's because the Scale Electric hobby is very much what I would call the grey pound.
Yeah,
it's the older generation who are coming back in and buying the memories, and I said one or two of you touched on it earlier, and that's very prevalent in this hobby. That people are quite nostalgic about things that they had as kids, and that's how they get back into it. And normally 35, 40, that's where you start to see a lot of people coming back into the hobby. And so it is a little bit of the shifting sands. The modern stuff, even Hornby have recognised the value of the grey pound. If you look at their product range, it leans quite heavily towards classic cars, classic Formula One, classic rally cars, classic American muscle, anything that's slightly nostalgic, rather than sort of, they do super up-to-date stuff, but the balance has definitely shifted, and they identify, they recognise that, which is I think is quite it's good of them to do that, because they realise that that's at the end of the day they're making stuff to make a profit and stay in business, and
yeah,
you know, they realise it's a very lucrative market because people of that age tend to have a little bit more disposable income.
Yeah. Another question from me: with the influx of the internet for the last couple of years, we've noticed, we've asked gaming people, we've asked like the Nema Studios, Bugsys Box, Common Collectibles, the prices of action figures have gone up. Has the Scale Electric world gone up as well in the last couple of years because of the pandemic? Because I can still remember getting the Scale Electric set as a kid, playing on the floor.
Yeah, certainly the pandemic brought a lot of people back in, and I think people rediscovered hobbies across the board. They rediscovered hobbies, you know, and in my sort of field, slot cars, train sets, lots and lots of people went back to it because they'd suddenly got this time to spend, you know, they've got hobby time again, which is maybe one of the upsides of the reset. I think there's been a massive reset for people in their working lives, and I think certainly from my perspective, I've seen that. I can't begin to tell you how many obsolete spares I sold over that 2-year period, where people have got their old stuff out, and of course the tires have perished, the pinion gears are bust, or whatever it is. I thought I had a lifetime supply of the stuff. I've been wiped out, and I'd got sort of 25, 30 years worth of spares, I've still got a lot of spares, but a lot of the common stuff, which I thought I'd have enough to last, has gone, simply because I'm not one of those people that will say no, because if it means somebody coming back into the hobby, then obviously if they've contacted me, there might be repeat sales. And from a business perspective, I'd be mad not to do that. But also, if you can encourage people in whatever your genre is, if you can encourage them, and I'll always promote, live events. I do find eBay and the internet can be a little bit cold, and one or two of you alluded to it earlier. It's really nice to be stood at the side of a table for somebody. It becomes very tactile, and then they can connect with you. You can talk to them about your specialist subject. They can learn a bit. You'll get some business off that, but they will come back and find you again. And I think that's the importance of the toy fairs. And I really hope that there's a renaissance in the live events. And it's very easy for somebody on a Sunday morning to have a cup of coffee, click on the internet, go to a well-known place, click, buy the 2 or 3 bits, and then spend the day with the family.
Yeah,
it's more of an effort for them to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, drive an hour, 2 hours to the NEC, queue up, come in, and go round. And and of course, I still think the social distancing thing is still affecting some people. But there is no, to my mind, there's no substitute for the live environment. It's just a fantastic place to be. When you go in the NEC, first thing in the morning is there's that buzz of expectation. And if you're like me, I love the thrill of the chase. I love getting around the tables and seeing if there's something that I can buy. That to me is as much fun as selling. So I think I'd like to think that the live environment will make a comeback. I mean, one of the issues we had in the slot car game, and you're starting to see it now, is there's a tail off of traders. When I started in the early 90s, places like the big two were Milton Keynes and Bishop Stortford. There were waiting lists for stall space, and you went to the events and people were queuing around the buildings. They were getting there at ridiculous hours just to get in. The advent of the internet has killed that. It's from having 400 people in a hall, you maybe get 150, and you could be lastminute.com and still get a table, and that's a worrying trend. And it's within our group. Well, the one thing that we have done is we've created the UK Slot Car Festival. But what we've done with that is we've drawn all facets of the hobby together. We've got Hornby on board, we've got the racers on board, we've got the collectors on board, we've got the scratch builders, we've got all. We've tried to pull everybody under one umbrella for 2 days in May at the British Motor Museum. We've now been going 10 years. We started off with a one-day show and got 1,000 people. The 2019 event, which was the last one we had before COVID, we were 2 days and 5,000 people, which was just a fantastic 2 days. If we can keep that going and keep perpetuating the hobby, which is something I think that we all have a responsibility for in our own spheres. If we can keep doing that, then it's got to be good always round. I don't know if that answers your question particularly.
I think one of the things that's quite interesting there is that something that you said, that it doesn't. It's interesting how we're all very individual, whether it be action figures or modern action figures or vintage action figures, or yourself with the slot cars, or you've got us that we make our own product or whatever. And it's all very individual. You've got Dave who sells absolutely everything, as you probably saw already, can just pull anything from anywhere. Doesn't matter what it is. He's got a mystical sack. But it's interesting how we're all very individual and it's all very individual what we do. Yet when it comes down to brass tacks, we all go in there and there's a buzz. We all go in there because we want to be in the live environment, and we all go in there like yourself, who goes round and goes, where's the crack that I can buy on the table? Because we're actually all just kind of like junkies at heart with this as the
100%.
drug, and I always find it quite comical, but in the best possible way. How, you know, we're all very unique and individual, but actually at the base level we're all identical.
The fundamentals is the same. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, the DNA is the same.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think
And I need my fix.
that's why
Where's my fix?
I think that's why the NEC is so good, because it's just a mixed range of like everything, and I like it because I don't know if you guys ever went to it, but back in like 2000s, there used to be the memorabilia show at the NEC. It was before. It was like the first start of Comic Cons.
Yeah.
But it had like people still at the NEC now. There's a wide, massive range of like everything there. But it was a Comic Con and sort of / toy show. So, but I just like the NEC because it reminds me of all the stores that used to be there, minus the autographs and Comic Con people. But it's just the sort of the memorabilia show was why one of the reasons I got into toys, because there used to be so much cool stuff there, which I think some of the same sellers probably do the NEC now.
I can remember something similar at the Northgate Arena in Chester, because I'm from Wrexham in North Wales, and there used to be a big toy fair like once a quarter in the Northgate Arena in Chester, and it was literally the only place where you could go that there was slot cars, and there was diecast, and there was railway, and there was dinky, and there was action figures, and it was the most amazing experience. And ever since, like, going to that, I think the first one I went to was in like 2004, something like that. And you know, and you kind of go into somewhere like that, and you go, "Oh, I'm not on my own," because the advent of the internet and everything has made it that toy collectors are very much this is like a big community, and parts of it are bad and parts of it are good, and etc. etc. But we all kind of know that we all exist now, whereas back in the noughties, you couldn't openly come out and go, yeah, I'm a toy collector, because it was like, you're a what?
Yeah, you're how old and you're still doing this?
Yeah. And you know, people would turn around to me and say, "Oh, how long have you been collecting toys?" It's like, I'm 40 this year, maybe 35 years. What? And it's like, yeah, never stopped. And they're going, I've sold a lot and pared down and done whatever, but never stopped collecting. Oh, you couldn't, like 20 years ago, you couldn't say that. You couldn't be like in your mid-20s and go, I'm a toy collector. I have rooms in my house that have toys on the wall. You weirdo. What's the matter with you, you weirdo? Stop being a freak. And now it's cool. Now it's like, oh yeah, you're a toy collector. It's like, yeah, get out.
It's things like the Big Bang sort of introduced that, really, wouldn't it? Those sort of style shows sort of brought it to the masses and the mainstream and made it much more socially acceptable.
Geek became cool, didn't it?
Yeah.
You've actually gone full circle, haven't you, Nick? Because you used to buy as a kid, sell as a kid, and now you're making your own toys. You've done the full circle, which I think Ben would love his own action figure. Like, you know,
I always say this, and it's absolutely not lost on me how lucky I actually am. That a lot of people, and I mean this in the nicest possible way, but a lot of people, they have no choice, because that's how the system works, but to take from the toy world their entire collecting life. What they do is they take. They because the whole system is designed that you take from it. It provides and you take from it, and that's how it works. Whereas I've been fortunate enough to be one of those people that can actually put back in. And when I have put back in, people have looked at what I've offered up and gone, I like that. I want to take that. And that is not lost on me. The significance of that to me is humongous. And when I'm like, I've been working since 5 a.m. this morning, and we'll probably still come off this now and do an hour's work before I go to bed, because I've got stuff I need to do and I need to have finished. But I will do that forever and a day because I get to do what I do as my job, and it's you know, I'm saying that is not lost on me in any way. I'm exceedingly lucky in that respect, that I am able to kind of like, I have gone that circle and I am able to kind of put back in and produce what I produce for, you know, as my job, which is slightly mind blowing at times.
Yeah. I forgot to ask Roger, where's your stall at the NEC? Any idea where you are? Just in case?
Yes. I'm down near the cafeteria. If you imagine if you got your back to the cafeteria, turn right, go to the right hand wall, and I'm usually 1 or 2 stalls up along there on the right, on the wall side. I'm where Richard Flowers usually stood, but he's not. I don't think he's doing it now.
No, he's got a big guy in the top right hand corner. He's a big table.
So again.
Was that the guy with the big table in the right hand corner?
Yeah, he used to have masses of diecast stuff. Yeah. I used to be in one of the centre aisles, but I've always preferred having a wall side stall. I don't know why. I think it comes from my previous life in the police. I like to know what's behind me.
Yeah.
So it's that's where I am. Usually have 3 double tables of stuff.
Did you know if you collect as well, Roger, or is it just Sky Electric or anything you personally collect, or?
Janice, my partner, would tell you that I collect all sorts. I've currently got about, I think it's 8 or 10 cars.
Real cars?
Yeah.
Right. Sorry, I had to clarify. Would you could?
I was going to if you didn't.
Yeah, it's like, I just have.
We're going to say diecast cars, so you know.
No. It's an unusual mix. I've got a 72 Marina Coupe. I've got a Sirocco GT2, a Polo, a Mark II Polo Coupe S, a little five-speed little go-kart thing, lovely car. A couple of BGTs, a Rover 216 Coupe, a 214 Cabriolet, the remains of a little day camper van, transit camper van, which I'm getting restored at the minute, and a Rover BRN, one of the Rover. It's the Rover 200 series with the orange nose. People will know them as that. Becoming quite a collectible car. It comes from Janice, my partner, would tell you, it comes out of me having escaping quite a difficult marriage where I didn't have a great deal of anything because it all went on my wife, and now I can have these things. If I can see them and I afford them, I just buy them.
Yeah.
Whether I do anything with them, but it's just nice to have them. But I do collect. I've got I've got a unit. And I've got sort of cabinets on the walls in there, and not necessarily slot related stuff. If I like the form of something or the shape of something, then it goes. I've got a couple of rally choppers, which are on the wall. All sorts of odd bits and pieces, steering wheels, all sorts of things, old bike lamps. Bits of die-cast, anything that just takes my fancy if I like it, and it goes in the collection.
Yeah.
Just all sorts of bits and pieces, really.
Carmen, what do you collect and what you after at the NEC for Toy Fair?
I'm mainly just sort of like Lego minifigures, or I really like the fake ones you can get. I got picked up some Squid Game ones the other day. And I've got I really like the sort of die-cast screen time Hot Wheels you can get. So you can we've got a few down here actually. You can get the Simpsons car. Oh, wait, over here.
Yeah.
Also DeLorean as well. Just I always look out for those. If I see any ones that I've not seen before or anything like that, I quite like any sort of car from a movie or a TV show. I quite like picking those up.
I know I've got a few James Bond and Batmobiles with me. I'll save them for one side for you.
I think so. I'll have a look. Yeah, I've got quite a lot of the Batmobile ones, and I say I like some guilty pleasures, McDonald's toys as well. I quite like them because obviously they don't make them like they used to anymore because to save the environment, stuff like that. But they last for years. Like this, obviously, you wouldn't think that was a McDonald's toy, and it's they're just the ones from the 90s are just the best. So
yeah,
I like looking out for ones that I've not seen before. And I was telling Nick when I saw him at Stafford, I haven't seen these. I've never seen these before, but I've got two that I had when I was a kid. The Small Soldiers KFC micro machines that they did.
Yeah, yeah.
So they got Chip Hazard in the chopper, and then that one as well. I've only got those two. If I ever saw any, I might be persuaded to pick them up, but I've never seen them. I always on the lookout for those.
Rye from Rye's Toys and Stuff usually has, from what I hear, lots of sort of McDonald's sort of toy stuff because that's a big thing he collects. So it might be worth having a chat with him.
Yeah, I've been wanting to check out his stall for quite a while because Chatham's a bit far from me, so I'm always sort of a bit tempted to sort of stand down as well. So I think, I would like to get up there and have a look. But
Nick, you looking for anything special?
Excuse me. I have recent I was collecting like Star Wars vintage collection and various other bits and pieces, and I realized that I was not enjoying collecting Star Wars at all. I love Star Wars to the core. Like I saw the Obi-Wan trailer and got giddy and started screaming all over the house, going, "Oh my god!" You know what I mean? And I love that stuff. I love the Mandalorian. I love the sequels. I love the prequels. I love the original trilogy. I love the Clone Wars, the Rebels, everything. Just Star Wars into the main vein. But collecting the vintage collection stuff of recent has become very, 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 very stressful with a gazillion releases, pre-order dates not being kept to, Hasbro's distribution is all over the place, stuff arriving damaged, blah, 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 blah. So I decided that the best option for me was to kind of like firm up. And I hate the phrase focus. I really do. But I said, you know what? The stuff that is really giving me like the biggest amount of pleasure at the moment is my Thundercats collection. So literally I pared everything down and have been paring down since. And I have it's I always joke because I always say that I don't collect anything now that isn't a kitten, a bird, or a fish. Right? So it's Thundercats, Silverhawks, Tiger Sharks. Because the three exist in the same universe. I have pieces from all three. And it's like I don't, you know what I mean? The problem is for me with Thundercats is that unless it's a variant, which because I'm obviously manning at the table, I don't really have time to go and dig. And you got to dig for variants, you know. Unless it's a variant, and I've got a lot of those already, I'm only missing 2 pieces from the entire Thundercats run. And the thing is about those is the chances of me finding those without anybody actually knowing what they are slim to practically zero, especially in that room. You know? Because I need a Driller and I need a Tongosaurus. And there's no way anybody in that room is not going to know the hell what they are. You know? So, Silverhawks as well. I don't think I'm going to spot any Silverhawks in there. And I'm definitely not going to spot any Tiger Sharks in that room.
I don't think I've ever seen one of those in flesh. I know the figures obviously exist.
I've got
but
3.
I don't think I've ever seen one.
I've got 3 of them.
How many was there?
8.
Okay.
I've got 8. There's 8 of them. I've got 3 of them. But the 3 that I have are what you would class as the common ones, and even they're like £300 each.
Wow, right. That's probably why I haven't come across any.
Yeah.
They literally were. They were like US only, super short run, just difficult to find. Difficult to find. I mean, even Silverhawks over here are difficult to come by.
Mm.
You know, even Silverhawks. I've been picking up some of the modern Thundercat stuff from the 2011 Bandai series, because those figures are pretty cool and they're pretty accessible. So I've been getting some of that stuff. But yeah, so Thundercats mainly for me on Sunday. But if there are any Thundercats fans watching, I might have something that's Thundercats related that you might want to come and see.
See, I wish I could get down there. Like, it's just a bit far from me.
I've got something with me, or will have something with me on Sunday that, yeah,
Blow your mind completely.
Yeah, it will do. If you're a Thundercats fan, and you're like, oh my god, like it's we're talking like Holy Grail level.
I forgot to ask Nick, where's your store situated in Hall again?
I don't know. It's moved. It moved last time. So I don't know where it is. I'm playing musical tables.
Okay.
That's the same as us. I've got no idea where ours is. It's that and rock up at 7 o'clock and go, it's here somewhere. I just run around and try and find my name stuck to a table.
It's not a Sword of Thundera. It's not a Cat's Lair. If I had a Cat's Lair, I wouldn't be selling it.
He's going to go for the whole lot, so.
It's an action figure. It's an action figure. It's a figure, and it's one of those things that.
Nick, can I give him a hint or not?
Mm.
It's appeared on Jordan Hembro's Toy Hunter series back in the 90s. He did 4 series, and one of the figure I think he's on about appeared on the Jordan Hembro's Toy Hunter videos, if you watched them. That's all I'm going to say. So if you know the Toy Hunter videos, that sort of stuff, that's all I'm going to say. Okay? If not, Nick will probably do a live on his channel, Nema Studios, will you? Probably with it? I don't know. Nick will go live with it Sunday morning.
Just before anybody gets very, very excited, right, and starts losing their mind, okay? It's what I have is not real. It's not some weird, like, loft find or something like that. Because if I had this and it was real, then I wouldn't be selling it because it'd be mine, right?
Yeah.
What this is this is me going, I'm in a very privileged position as a toy manufacturer to own my own toy factory. As small as it is, I still own my own toy factory. And there are certain things out there from the world of Thundercats that never materialized that LJN said they were going to do, and they never did. Now I'm looking at those things and going, I really want that for my collection. And there's I'm in that privileged position where I can say, well, if I make 10 of those, that pays for it to be made, and I get one. So that's what I've done. I can't do any more or any less. Yeah. I'm not going to say much more than that. And it doesn't have official this or official that or anything. And I'll deny all knowledge of it ever happening. Because I don't have licensing or anything like that.
See, I would have a guess, but I can't remember what it was, like a gang or something. But I'm sure
those are the lunatics. Those are the lunatics. I not quite there yet with the lunatics. I would like to make the lunatics, but they're not quite there yet. No. Of course, I wouldn't be making an attacks anyway because I don't have a Thundercats license.
Ben, you were looking for anything special, or Bugs, you looking for anything special, dude?
I'm always looking for turtle figures that I don't have. There's a couple of Visionaries accessories that I'm looking for, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to come across them because they just don't come up.
All the weapons, Nick?
It's Feral's helmet and his accessory, which
what colour?
looks a bit like a light. He's the other brown and yellow figure. So Recon is, I mean, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but is the hardest one to get hold of because some of them didn't come with stuffs because they came exclusively with vehicles.
Yeah.
So Feral's one of those. He's sort of the good guy as opposed to Recon, who's the bad guy. And we were chatting with Josh. Josh mentioned it the other night on the Toy Division live stream that one of Recon's accessories went for 80 quid on its own, like just the sword.
Yeah.
So the Visionary stuff has just gone mad. But I remember it from being a kid and going to my nan's house when she was babysitting, going to Blockbusters down the road, and renting that video week in, week out, to the point where we probably should have just bought it rather than paying to rent it every single week. But apart from that, I mean, I've picked up one of the premium DNA Mad Balls figures, the Splitting Headache, which is pretty cool. So I'm tempted to pick up some more of those if anybody's got any. But
Into the Burke, I was on yesterday's Toy Division chat, and they said they might bring something different or new stuff as well.
Yeah, Josh was saying that.
With this toy fair on Sunday, it's different for the one the week after. Because you get the smaller guys, the independent people, and everything else, and the table prices. You know, for the small table, you can get the same as a small table, the guys, for one table for the following week, isn't it? Nick would vouch for me. It's crazy how much the table differs from show to show.
Oh yeah. Steve, Ben, you must be like me then when it comes to turtles. like I say, you know, when I'm with the Thundercats going, well, there's only this one and this one. I mean, you must be in that bracket where you're going, well, I'm not going to get like a hot spot or
a hot spot or a scratch, no.
Or even like I've even seen half cut going for stupid money now.
Yeah. See, when Sam and I, who's the other one I do Bugsys Toy Box with, when we first started doing this as a more of a serious hobby back at the start of 2018, he rang me up one Sunday afternoon and said, look, I went to a car boot this morning. Do you want to pop round and see some of the bits I've got? I said, yeah, all right. And he'd found a half cut at a car boot. So I've had that in my collection ever since. So I'd never really sort of paid attention to the prices. And in a couple of the groups recently, sort of watching the prices that people are asking for just the loose figure, no accessories or anything. Like, they've just gone mad. Not the people, but the prices of the figures have just rocketed. But for me, I'm not anything past sort of 93, I'm not interested in. So sort of 88 to 93. And even then, it's some of the lines I'm not too fussed on. So too many iterations of the Turtles themselves. It's more the sort of the weird, obscure figures that I'm quite into.
I like the
style, Ben, but I might just bring it with me because I know Edgewitter at Geek House is there the weekend.
Yeah.
But I might just bring it and take a picture with him. But if you know, you know.
Oh, yeah, that's a hard one to find. Well, you won't ever find it. You always have to buy it for a premium.
Yeah, trust me. You know.
Which one is that, Dave? Is that the regular one, or is that the one that you
no, it's the European exclusive only, all purple Super Shredder.
Yeah. The only other one that they did was you had to send it off for the Chef Boyardee ones. That's the completely black one.
Yeah, yes. It's the black one, and it's the black and purple top. But yes, the European Shredder, it's, according to Ed, which is a big guy, it's almost as rare as Scratch the Cat. It's unbelievable. It's just basically all in purple instead of like purple and different colour.
I mean, I've got the original.
Europe.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm tempted just to bring it with me, just to take a few pictures, and it's not for sale, but you know what I mean? It's just no one hardly sees it around, you know.
No, I've never seen one.
I know when Nick was selling his turtle collection off, there's one figure I still regret buying off Nick when he was selling his collection to funds. What's that cat called again, Nick? Your specialised figure?
Duck Boy.
Duck Boy. You know, I bought most of my stuff off Nick when he was like funding Duck Boy, and that was, you know, he had some amazing stuff.
I did have some beautiful turtle stuff, absolutely beautiful turtle stuff, which I do regret selling, but you know, you live and learn, don't you?
Need to. I think the only other thing I'm looking for is the turtle giants that they did were wicked. And of the original 6, I only need Rocksteady.
Is that the horn one or the pig one?
That's the rhino one, yeah.
Yeah, he's the hardier. I got the pig one, but not the rhino.
I got a Bebop, no accessory or anything, but Sam bought it for me for Christmas a couple of years ago, and the guy who was chatting to about it said if you'd sent me a message 10 minutes earlier, you could have had both of them, but I've just sold Rocksteady.
No.
But it's wicked that I've got the 4 turtles. I've just completed my Mikey as well. I've just got his belt, so I just need a couple of accessories and obviously Rocksteady, which they just don't come up. So I'm not in a rush to find them.
Have you diversified out then, Ben? Have you gone into Toxic Crusaders?
Yeah, I've got almost a complete set of those.
Most people do. Most people go, "Oh, what now?" And it's like the logical thing is Toxic Crusaders, isn't it?
Well, it's those Playmates bright colours. For me, it was more the start of lockdown, and I got a lot of the common sort of turtle stuff at that point. So it was like, what can I pick up that's going to sit really nicely with the collection? That's not going to cost me an arm and a leg, but it's still going to be sort of cool when you can't really hunt for it as you normally would do. So I got quite a few of those, and I got them at some really, really decent prices actually before they all shot up in value.
Yeah, I'm quite lucky. I've got most of them. I don't own any of the Turtles figures anymore, but I do have a loose collection of Toxic Crusaders because they're nuts.
Yeah, I think Toxie is the only one that I don't have complete. I think I've got all the others.
It's kind of funny because when Ben posted his video that he started picking up Toxic Crusaders, he kind of got me into Toxic Crusaders because I managed to find 4 on eBay, and it was just a random. I'll say, I'll put a bet in and see what happens, and I won it. So it was basically Toxie, No Zone, and one of the bad guys for 12 quid.
They're just
not bad.
They're so 90s. It's unreal.
Yeah, it's that gross 90s but bright colours.
It's one of the things you'll find at the NEC Toy Fair. Good chance you'll find them there. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I've had a few that I've sold before, and they're just great. Such great figures.
Beautiful figures.
But before I forget, let's see if Nick recognises this. Let's see if Ben's ever seen any in the wild, or if Common Collectibles have seen any. I'll put my...
Okay.
And I found this in a charity shop for pennies. And
I'm pretty sure I know what this is.
And it was Theo that kind of told me what it was, because I spent like 2 days trying to figure out what this guy was.
Yeah, I know what that guy is.
I'll
let the others see, but before I start waxing lyrical, I'll let the others.
The only, and this is completely hazarding a guess because I'm not super au fait with the toy line. It's not in humanoids, is it?
No,
it is not.
Then I've got no idea.
I haven't got a clue actually. It looks kind of like Action Man-y, but I don't.
It's like Wolverine-esque.
Of Wolverine, he's got the same colours.
It's like if Wolverine and Beast merged together.
Yeah. Bit of Boba Fett thrown in as well.
That is Star Prowler.
Okay.
Star Prowler is one of 6 figures that comprise a line of figures called Battlehawks.
Okay, Battlehawks rings a bell.
Battlehawks was created and released by a Nottingham-based company in 1987 called Acmas.
Okay.
It forms one of 3 lines. This is how geeky I am. It forms one of 3 lines that are all categorized as exchanges.
Okay.
There are the exchanges, there are the Battle Hawks, and there are the Cosmic Cowboys.
I've heard of the Cosmic Cowboys.
Yeah.
I can actually be even geekier on this. It's quite interesting, Baz, because you said to me, you wonder if I recognize that character. I actually own that character.
See,
I kind of wanted you to do a David and just sort of pull it up from nowhere then.
I can actually show you if I can make the thing do its thing. Hang on.
You can't turn the camera around, Nick. He won't let you do that. You need to.
No, I know.
Anything we stream out, it won't let you.
Oh, yeah, I can see it.
I see him.
Yeah, I got him.
Is that the Space Jam monsters at the back?
No, those are the exchanges.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to make Nick big, Baz? Just to make sure. He's all in yellow as well.
They're cool. Oh, I think we've had one of the exchanges, or I've got one of the helmets for the exchanges in a big box of accessories.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually, as I say, that's how geeky I am, because they form part of the exchanges line, which is either Cosmic Cowboys exchanges or Battle Hawks. And I say, when you're talking about that character star power, and do I recognize the character? I don't know if Dio told you already or what, but I actually own it.
Well, he says he did say Nick might be interested in it. He wasn't too sure if you had it or not.
Yeah, I actually
thought it was quite weird, because I found that like 2 days after we'd done the stream with you.
Yeah.
We were talking about like Cosmic Cowboys, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then
we actually as a studio, we bought Cosmic Cowboys 2 years ago. I have a full set of Cosmic Cowboys. I had them when I was a kid, and it was something that we kind of we looked at and we said, I really want to make Cosmic Cowboy figures. Who owns the license to this now? And of course, Akamus went defunct in 1991, and nobody bought their catalogue. So it was just a case of kind of bringing it back into commerce. And at the same time as, we were doing Cosmic Cowboys, we kind of looked at it and went, okay, well, in for a penny, in for a pound. Let's buy exchanges and Battle Hawks as well. So we actually, now I've never made this public. Actually, it's the first time I've talked about this. But like we actually own that whole umbrella. So the studio owns the intellectual property of it. So like at the moment we're working with Beyond the Bunker, who are a comic studio on Cosmic Cowboys. They've completely revamped Cosmic Cowboys, and Steve Penfold is doing an amazing job of creating a new comic book with new stories and new characters. And there's more to come from Cosmic Cowboys later in the year, where there'll be new figures from us and all kinds of stuff. There's some new stuff happening with Cosmic Cowboys. But exchanges and Battle Hawks are something that get talked about an awful lot, where they're going to appear in the comic books at some point. So, yeah, you might actually see him crop up at some point in the Cosmic Cowboys comic that we're currently doing. Issue 1's been out since October last year. We've got a new one, that's coming, I think, in June. Issue 2 is in June, because obviously it's an indie comic, it's independent, it's slow burn. It's great. I know the story that Steve has panned out, and it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Right. We're almost coming up to the 15 minutes to go for the end of the live stream, because I think we'll be finishing round about 11 o'clock. If you guys want to go round and say what this show, the Toy Fair show, means to you guys, give yourself a last big plug for the show, what you're selling, where we can find you, that sort of stuff, please just go ahead. Roger, if you want to go first.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I should be in my new usual spot at the bottom of the hall on the left-hand side as you come in. I'll have my usual array of new and used slot cars, spares, etc. I will have some other bits and pieces on that I've collected along the way. Some of it may be of interest to you guys. I don't know. It's just figures and things that I've accumulated that I tend to just take to the big shows. But yeah, I look forward to seeing you all there. It'd be nice to sort of actually, if I see you all in the flesh, to have a
Do you
chat.
do any of the
maybe
shows up and down the country, or just the NEC, or where
I
else can
do.
people find you?
I'm out most Sundays. Like last week, I was at a specialist show, slot car show in Swindon. I'm in Aberdeen, Pittodrie Stadium on the 2nd of April.
Yep.
And then we've got the run-in. I've got 3 or 4 shows before my big show of the year is the 28th, 29th of May, if I've got the date weekend right, at the British Motor Museum for the 2022 UK Slot Car Festival, which is, we are, despite the issues with Brexit, we have got some of the overseas traders coming, which is fantastic news. We didn't think we'd get any of them at all, but they seem to be very determined to make the effort to come over. So that's brilliant news for us, and I suppose testimony to how strong that the Slot Car Festival brand has become within the slot car circle. But yeah, thank you for that.
No, you're welcome. Common Collectibles.
Yeah, I'm usually sort of third row in. I think it's row C. It's like you get, as soon as you walk in, sort of middle aisle. And I'm usually, if he's going to be there, there's a guy that just sells like Daleks, Doctor Who, sort of Star Wars. I'm usually next to him. So I'm usually like the sort of second row in from the main row down through the middle. So as I say, like obviously see all of you there all the time. So I'll just be selling my usual stuff. I'm trying to stay as reasonably priced as possible because I know how hard collecting and expensive it can be. So it's just I'm just looking forward to it. It's a great show. I always enjoy it. Like I do Stafford regularly because I live in Stafford, so it's just a local one for me. So, and then I do a lot of Comic Cons in the East Midlands. I do sometimes do with Nick as well. So I usually see him there. So that's like Northwich, Nantwich, also just Stoke. Those kind of around that area, sort of, because the closest toy shows for me will be Stafford and the NEC.
Yeah.
So
perfect. Good luck, Nick. Any future shows as well you got coming up?
Say again, sorry.
You got any future shows anywhere we can find you and that sort of stuff?
Yeah. So obviously we'll be at this one on Sunday. We've got 2 new Fiendish Feet dropping tomorrow night online at nemastudios.com. You'll be able to buy them from us at the show on Sunday. So there's Hot Cross Bunny in his original pink colours as he was in the original Easter Pop. And there's a chocolate version in brown and pink, which is just epic. That's available. He's a limited edition of 50, so you'll be able to get them. Then we've got a break next weekend, and then the weekend after that is Wales Comic Con. It's our first big Comic Con of the year. We've got a new trapdoor figure dropping at that one, Bubo, which we said about earlier on. We've got Space Raiders, the Astra figure from Space Raiders is dropping at that one. Panda Pop, which I don't know. I said that earlier, and I think everybody's looking at me going, "What?"
I think I know what you mean.
You think I know? Right, go on.
Is it like I'm gonna get? Is it food based? If I'm thinking rightly. Yeah, it's the drinks you used to have at like school discos, isn't it? They used to come in bright blue, bright sort of red colours.
Yeah. Basically, we looked at it and we went, Space Raiders. We're doing Astra from Space Raiders. So if we're doing Space Raiders, you wouldn't have like Coke with Space Raiders. You'd have Panda Pop with Space Raiders because that's what you would have in this country. and we looked at the design of the panda, and we were like, I think we can do something with this. So we've got something really, really cool that we're going to show off on Sunday.
That'll be wicked.
Yeah, we've got something really, really cool with those pandas. It's just like, yeah, they're great. But they're dropping in 2 weeks at Wales. And obviously there's the big surprise trapdoor thing that we're doing in 2 weeks as well at Wales Comic Con. And then after that, May's
back to the NOC in May.
I've got HorrorCon in May as well in Sheffield. Yeah. June is ToyCon UK is the art show down in London.
Is that early or late June?
That's early June. Early June, I think. I think it's like 10th, 12th, something like that. And then there's LFCC summer, 3 days at the Olympia. The Beast, which is the Olympia. And I don't really think beyond that, to be honest, at this point. I don't really think beyond the beginning of July and London Film and Comic Con, because that's like the halfway point in the year. And I need a week off after that to kind of do nothing like toy-based at all, because I'm completely toyed out after that. But yeah, so that's pretty much where I'm at. There's a boatload of releases as well between now and then. There's loads of stuff happening. What can I tell you about? You know about Trapdoor. You know about Space Raiders. You know about Panda Pop. You know about Grot Bags. Say again?
Any more Grot Bags figures coming as well? Any others in the series?
You know what? We're working on this. We at the time, we just were going to do Grot Bags, and it was like Grot Bags and out. That was it. One off.
Right.
And then it went a bit mental, and people kind of like turned around and they were like, "Are you going to do like Doc Croc? Is it Doc Croc?
Yeah,
it's Doc Croc, isn't it? You're going to do like Doc Croc and like Rod Hull and Emu?" And we were like, maybe. I mean, the thing with Rod Hull and Emu is it's like we've been working on like how we can do it, because obviously he had a fake arm, and and his hand was up the emu's bum, kind of like giving it like this, and it's like, so how exactly do we portray that in an action figure? Because it's not exactly very actiony, is it? It's just a dude with an emu on his arm.
You can almost do like a black little sticker man with like a puppet on his hand.
Well, no, we've got some ideas with it. I think that the big thing that we're working on at the moment is the center of gravity, because we think he's probably going to have some form of stand. Otherwise, you're just going to go poof every time it stands up. So that's happening. We're trying to make that work. There's some other bits that we're working on already. More Fiendish Feet. Oh, yeah, I can tell you about that one, because that one is on the back of the Grot Bags card. We're going to make a kaiju. Oh, look at Dave's face. Look at Dave's face. Like, what? And it's not what you think it is. It's not like an Ultraman or a Kamen Rider kaiju. This is a British kaiju.
BFG.
Say again?
He's not a BFG then.
I'm just gonna point you in the direction.
Baz?
Of that.
The Muncher.
I'm going to say Mr. Bobby. It's came in my head. I don't know why, but I just...
Right.
The Muncher.
I'm gonna have to look this up after the stream.
Oh no, tell me about it.
Yeah, me too.
Now, just look at that. Just look at the way that is.
Oh, I can see exactly. Yeah. Design background. I know what you're talking about now.
Look at the way it looks.
I guess you've
Yeah.
got to also take into account 3 of the other names that you've got on the back and the relationship they all have with each other.
Yep.
On the same side.
Yep.
Yeah, I got it.
I've got it as well. But I might be wrong.
Go on.
Right,
Is it the cereal? I can't remember what his name is.
No, it's Crisp Space, isn't it?
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
I haven't got a clue, so there you go. So
they didn't come in pickled onion flavour then?
No.
Oh, I've not got it then.
anyway, we'll find out the weekend anyway. So Ben, do you want to plug yourself again? And I was hoping to get Aaron, Dan, or Aaron on, but it looks like they missed it completely.
Yeah, I think they've all. A lot of them have been working late, super late.
Yeah.
Andy
So
said
do you
to
want to
send
plug
his
that
best.
like small table again, please?
Our really small table. Yeah,
that's the one.
Yeah, we're going to have sort of everything and anything, a sort of a plethora of 80s to 90s. Sort of the big name stuff like Turtles, Star Wars, Thundercats, He-Man, but some sort of more obscure stuff. I've got a load of spare Visionaries. We've got minifigures galore. Rye's got loads of food-based stuff like the McDonald's toys and stuff. So yeah, come and just chat toys with us and just sort of hang out if you fancy it.
And you're at Bugsys Toy Box yourself as well?
Yes, I am. Yeah, me and Sam, the much shorter version.
The better looking one.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily agree with you on that one, but he would.
As for me, I said anyone watching the stream wishes me happy birthday and get a free Lego Batman figure completely on me, all sealed in bag. And all the official ones as well. You know. Do you want to go through the stuff again? No. I'll be on the left-hand side as you come to the door on the wall, halfway up, with just a tiny bit smaller tables than the smaller table lot. Not much smaller or bigger. Selling everything from anything you find at Dave World Toys from Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube. Bazza, do you want to finish us out and bits and pieces like that? Because it's your channel.
Well, I've got one question. I mean, I know I asked this earlier on, but I want to get some advice from the rest of the guys. What advice would you give to somebody that's thinking about selling at a toy fair?
Do it. Just throw yourself into it, and just the experience. You'll learn a lot. You'll, like as we've said before, you'll meet a lot of like-minded people who, if you've got any questions or need any help, will be more than happy to help.
Be careful.
Yeah, everything else said before. Just obviously take change, take your shelves, and just be, price stuff up. I usually just bag stuff up.
Yeah.
So
price stuff up is vital.
Yeah. It's something that we usually don't do as well as we should do, but
if you're an experienced trader, you normally sort of know off the top of your head what things are.
Yeah.
But for somebody first time, there's a lot of sharks in there. Certainly, some of the early entries who are looking for bargains, and you can very quickly get steamrolled if you're not careful.
A lot of people don't like asking for prices as well. So if you've got stuff already labelled up, it means people who are not as confident asking don't need to. They can know if they want it or not straight away.
Bags. Make sure you take plenty of bags.
Yeah, I always forget bags.
Yeah, we always forget bags.
Be careful as well. Not from a dodgy people around point of view, but if you're umming and ahhing about whether you want to do this even as a hobby, and you go to a fair like this and you sell at it, once you get a taste of that drug, once you get that taste of that crack, I'm telling you, you once you're stood there and you've got people going, yeah, I'll take that, and it starts flowing, and you suddenly realize you've got the banter, and the banter's going, and you didn't realize it was there, but out it comes, and you're talking toys, and it's like, wow, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I only just got here. you'll want more of it, and you'll want more of it, and you'll want more of it. So make sure you're ready for that, because it's very, very addictive.
It's a big commitment.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Very so.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Before I forget, Common and Cocktails, do you collect the big scale as well? Or is it the Matchbox size? It's the James Bond Aston Martin car.
I know it's like the
small scale.
Is that to me?
Yeah, this is the big one. So, okay, just checking
the
while I'm here.
small ones.
Sweet. Okay, thank you. Well, thanks.
I'll come and have a look anyway on Sunday.
You're welcome. Well, thanks again to you for coming on, and the other guests and all the other people who send me the pictures across.
Thank you for having us.
Different, complete different dealer show.
It's very enjoyable.
You know, we'll try and do another one closer to another show, bits and pieces. Me and Baz definitely be back next Thursday for another live stream. Don't know what we're doing yet. We haven't finalised it. All we say is stay safe. Meet us all at the NEC Toy Fair this Sunday. Say you watch the live stream. You know, come and chat to us and enjoy yourself, guys. Thank you so much.
See you Sunday.
See you Sunday.
See you guys. See you guys. Take care. Good night. Good night.
Bye.